Ages following Tom Thibodeau's dismissal. The New York job is an attractive one, but has some concerns too, points out First Take host Stephen A. Smith.
When you look at the team, even though it's good and it's going to be a playoff team, they're limited in the movement that they can exercise in the future. You gave up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. You also gave up another first-round pick when you acquired Karl Anthony Towns. You improved offensively, but you compromised depth, toughness, and you compromised flexibility.
A Stanley Cup rematch gets underway tonight when the Oilers and defending champion Panthers meet in Game 1 of the final. Florida making its 3rd straight Cup final appearance, a +100 underdog to repeat. The Penguins hired former Rangers assistant Dan Muse as their new head coach.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
That's right! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Paulie, somebody tighten the jib here on the mic.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Like it's brand new over here.
Hump day.
Esther, maybe? Maybe.
It's hump day.
I like it.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We don't have a limp mic scenario over here.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You don't want that.
Mike might need Goodwood.
Hump day.
Or maybe it got Goodwood.
It's hump day.
Which is why it's working now.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Well, Jake Haener doesn't want to back up.
Hump day.
Can't imagine why.
It's hump day.
Talk about that.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We've got point spreads for 4 LSU SEC football games this year.
Hump day.
Getting to that.
It's hump day.
Another Tiger in the portal.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Head coach of the NAIA undefeated national champion LSU Shreveport Pilots, Brad Neffendorf's here in hour 3.
Hump day.
Ton to do. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
I don't know how I missed this. Don't know how I missed it. I'm scrolling Instagram, sitting at my desk about 3 hours ago. I'm scrolling Instagram, and our buddy John Peterson, one of his posts pops up in my feed, and it's his children watching golf. And it's him playing golf. And I'm like, wait a minute. John's not a time traveler. Those are his children now watching him play golf now. And he's wearing shorts, so he's playing as an amateur, obviously. I read the post, and I'll be darned. Our guy goes up to Oakmont's playing in a U.S. Open qualifier, damn near wins the thing. He's actually going to be a first alternate for the U.S. Open. I texted John. I was like, man, we got to talk. He's like, I can do it right at 3. I said, come on down. Well, here he is. John, how are you, man?
Matt, I'm doing good, dude. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. Ready to talk Monday. I'm still sore from it, but I'm ready to roll with you here, dude.
Hey, okay. We have talked a lot over the years, and you have had an on-again, off-again relationship with golf. I think it's fair to say. Why now was it on again?
Well, it's mean, I'm an amateur now. I play once or twice a month, and a lot of those times I'm just drinking beer with buddies on the golf course. You know, I don't really play competitive golf anymore. I certainly like to. You know, the competition and the fire in my belly really hadn't gone away, but the preparation isn't there. You know, it's just one of those things that I don't have time for anymore. With a full-time job, 4 kids, you know, we're all over the place. And I signed up for U.S. Open locals here in Abilene last month and just figured I'd give it a shot. Got through and went up to Springfield and, you know, caught lightning in a bottle and, you know, kind of felt like it was 10 years ago where I had it that day. And when I looked up, the ball was flying through the window it used to and gave them hell for all 40 holes. And we'll see how it shakes out.
Can you, for those who don't know, and my hand's in the air, I'm a little unindoctrinated here. What is that qualifier like that you played on Monday? What's all the? Give us just the idea of the format.
Yeah, so it's 36 holes one day walking, right? And they call it golf's longest day, and it is. I mean, you're playing 18 holes in the morning, and you're playing 18 holes right after you eat lunch for 30 minutes in the afternoon. You really don't even have a break. So you're walking. It's hot, you know, it's summer. You're just trying to finish top 4, top 5 to give yourself a chance to go to U.S. Open. So we know how many spots are available on the first tee. There were 4 spots on my side. Honestly, I was going up there just for fun. You know, I don't play for money anymore. It's not my job. My livelihood doesn't depend on whether or not I make birdies. So I'm able to freewheel it at this point in my life. And I think that a freewheeling golfer is a dangerous golfer. And it certainly was on Monday. You know, I wasn't overly nervous. You know, I certainly had the competitive jitters throughout the day, but the maturity level of myself on the golf course is exponentially higher than it was 10 years ago when every shot mattered. So I'm able to just go out there and have fun, dude. And I know it sounds stupid and repetitive. Like, that is the best way to play golf. But for whatever reason, when I was a professional, I couldn't get out of my own way because everything depended on golf, my bills, you know, all of that. And now that that's not the case, I'm able to really have fun and enjoy the competition. And that's really what it's all about for me right now.
John Peterson's with us. So you ended up playing 40 holes. So you went to a playoff? Like, what happened there at the end?
Yeah, so I come in at 4 under, and it was a hell of a day for me. You know, that I looked on my Gen app, which is an app that the USGA uses to determine handicaps, right, for everybody. And I had only logged 20 rounds in the past year. You know, and I'm all of a sudden in a playoff with PGA Tour players that play every day, all day, like I used to. And so you're talking about a guy that's played 20 rounds over a year. Well, these guys have 20 rounds in the past 3 weeks. And, you know, obviously I'm not the betting favorite, but in my head, you know, I remember how to do this. Like, I remember what it's like to be under the gun. I love hitting shots and performing under pressure. And, you know, just for a moment there, for that 4-hole playoff, it felt as if I was young again and that I could do it, right? And that's what we live for, you know, stuff like that. Even though I was not technically prepared for it, I was still able to perform like I used to. And I showed a lot to myself and the fight that I put up all day, even without the preparation that I normally would have gone through for a day like that. So I'm just proud of the way I battled. Zach Blair, who's a PGA Tour player, and I went to extra holes. We both birdied the first hole of the playoff, so the other 2 guys were out. And then we went 3 more holes, and he ended up hitting it to about 8 inches on me on the 4th hole and birdied it to beat me. So I'm first alternate. I may get into the U.S. Open next week. I'm going to fly up on Monday and take my chances.
So that's incredible. But by the way, do you know, like, what is the probability of you actually of getting in as first alternate?
So at my site in Springfield, of the last 4 years, 3 years, the first alternate has gotten in from my site. So
Okay.
Yeah, dude.
This is so good.
History's on my side as far as getting in goes. And, that's funny. Like the guy that caddied for me, he's a CPA. So you have a CPA and a garage guy coming up there and beating all these PGA Tour players that play every day. So it's a hell of a story. It really is. And, take my past away, from 10 years ago and whatever I did on the golf course then, I don't play anymore. So for it to happen like it did, it was really just an awesome day, and I have nothing but positives to take from it.
You're like Matt Damon in the Bagger Vance movie, Juno or whatever. Just out there ripping it, like winning tournaments and stuff.
Well, I'm more like Tin Cup, dude. Like,
okay,
he got into the U.S. Open as an alternate, and ended up losing by one because of that crazy last hole. But yeah, I've gotten so many tweets and Instagram messages that I feel like I've got the whole country behind me right now trying to get in, and it's an overwhelming amount of support from people in Baton Rouge and LSU folks and Tiger Athletic Foundation and all those guys that were texting me. I had 300 unread text messages when I got off the course. And I don't even know when I was playing full time if I ever had close to that many. Yeah. So it's a cool story, man. I'm happy to be a part of it.
All right, before I let you go, I got to reference the video that you posted on Instagram. By the way, which one of your children is the one covered in a blanket or a beach towel, not showing themselves?
Yeah, that's Luke. He's my 7-year-old. He was actually completely naked, and Amanda got him in the shower because it's bedtime, right? The playoff was 8 p.m. And they were showering, and somebody had told Amanda that I was going into a playoff, so they're all naked, and she got them all covered up in blankets and was able to shoot that video that we'll have forever. And that's what I told her. I said, look, I just want to play one time where my kids don't have to go to YouTube and look at stuff from 2012 to see what I used to do. Because obviously I didn't have kids then, and now they'll remember that as a second grader and a first grader, they'll remember seeing their dad do what he used to do on TV. So if I get into the Open, we're all going to go, and they get to watch me compete, even if it's for the last time. That's really all I want.
That's awesome, man. Well, the video's great. Congrats on an awesome weekend, awesome memory for your whole family, and man, we'll be pulling for you. I mean, you've given me a new interest in the U.S. Open this year. I'm hoping somebody like pulls a hammy or something like that and has to tap out. I'd love to see you get out there and go play 4 days at the U.S. Open. That'd be awesome, man. We'll be pulling for you.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I appreciate y'all and all y'all do for LSU and me. So appreciate you having me.
You got it, man. We'll talk soon. That's John Peterson, former Tiger national champion golfer. 14 years ago in 2011, and had his run in professional golf, and he's been a good friend of ours here on the show for a lot of years. Whenever we've called on him, he's come as an analyst talking about some of the majors or his sort of, as I talked at the beginning, the on-again, off-again relationship. He's been very candid. Like he felt out of love with golf and with the preparation. He still likes to go play and hit the ball in it, but being a professional golfer was not something he loved, and he was very, very. John's great on him. He's very transparent, and just decided to go to a qualifier. Which one of the cool things with the U.S. Open? I mean, it's America's championship. You just go to a qualifier. Anybody can you qualify, you're in the tournament. So, how cool is that? So, wishing John all the best, man. I really hope someone I hate to wish ill on somebody, but maybe it could be like a Scheffler situation where someone just gets arrested outside of the tournament, and then someone has to tag in, and John gets to go play. First alternate for the U.S. Open. That'd be awesome to see him get out there. And he's right. Like, that's Tin Cup. I mean, it's the movie. Just like, if he actually gets in this tournament and goes and plays well, it would feel a lot like a movie. But I'll be pulling for him. All right, it's after further review. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Maybe we can make Bud Light the official beer of John Peterson during this run in the U.S. Open. It'd be awesome to see, man. Our friends over at Mockler are great supporters of LSU Athletics, the official beer of LSU Athletics, official beer of the New Orleans Saints as well, and the official beer of AFR. We love our partnership. We're there at Walk-Ons this past Friday with our friends over at Mockler Beverage and drinking plenty of Bud Light and throwing out some swag and having a good time. And if you're going to be watching the Tigers this weekend against West Virginia, make sure you got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Okay, quick break. We are that's just, hey, I wouldn't normally start the show there, but that's what John had available. Like, you're damn right. Come on. Give me 10 minutes, man. I would love to hear this story. So we always appreciate John. It was interesting because yesterday I asked Jimmy Ott to give me his best guess at some of LSU's point spreads for 2025, and he sent me 4 of them. Well, lo and behold, today in my inbox, BetOnline sent 31 point spreads for 31 premier college football games in this coming season, including 4 LSU games, all 4 that Jimmy sent me yesterday. So how close was the Otter to nailing it? Give you my biggest takeaways next on AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Glow Resources and glowresources.com. Jareth Knockin and the gang over at Glow Resources. Man, they do awesome work. If you're a business owner, I tell you every day, you want to be more productive, you need Glow Resources. Listen, the bottom line is, the hiring market for some time has been really tough. And everyone who owns a business is looking for help in hiring and finding the right people. That's why you should work with Glow Resources. They are a permanent solution. They're not a temp staffing agency. And at Glow Resources, they do not lose customers. Their role, their objective is, how do we take the headache of hiring away from you, the business owner? So you are selecting from a pre-qualified batch. Glow Resources does an awesome job of casting their net far and wide, asking the right questions through their networks to find the right people for your business. That's why they have a 96% success rate. GLO, glowresources.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
For the review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Man, thanks again to John Peterson. It was awesome. Appreciate the convo. Talk some booze with Taylor Calandro here in about 25 minutes from right now. We'll head up to Morgantown, check in on the West Virginia Mountaineers baseball team next hour. And Brad Neffendorf is going to be here in hour 3. What an amazing story that is. The LSU Shreveport Pilots, by now you've probably heard this story, went 59-0. They won the NAIA National Championship. They're going to get a visit to the White House with the president, which is awesome. And Brad Neffendorf is going to join us in hour 3, so we're looking forward to that. Glad you're hanging out with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. On Tuesday's show, we were looking at the preseason ESPN FPI. And that's the Football Power Index, a computer system, throws a bunch of data in there, simulates the season 20,000 times, boom, there's the results. And LSU had projected to win 7.9 games. So eight wins, 30% chance of making the playoff, 1.8% chance of winning the national championship. And I went 8 wins. It seems like a crazy low number for all the talent that this team has. You know, I go into every football season, and the way that I gauge my projection for a team is, and this isn't new, if you listen or have listened or watched for any length of time, you've heard me say this. I say who has the fewest questions against the most manageable schedule. A year ago, I was not super high on LSU because you lost the Heisman-winning quarterback. You lost your offensive coordinator to Notre Dame and Mike Denbrock. You had the worst defense in LSU history the season prior, and we thought you'd be better, but weren't sure how much better. So you're replacing both coordinators, lost a Heisman-winning quarterback, 2 first-round picks at receiver. There were a ton of questions on that team a year ago, and you obviously had a very difficult schedule. So tempering expectations a year ago was probably the right thing. I keep looking at this LSU team, and I go, man, you've got the leading returning passer in college football. You've got your top receiver back, your top running back returning. You went and added 18 guys in the portal. You got better at every level of your defense. You're returning Harold Perkins off of injury. You're returning Jacobian Guillory off of injury. You've got Whit Weeks back coming off of an all-SEC season. I'm looking around going, even in special teams, Damian Ramos is back. I'm going, what am I missing here? You've got continuity on your coaching staff with both coordinators returning. Like, you've got very few questions. The one real question that they have is the offensive line, but even still, you return a starter in DJ Chester. You went and added 2 starters in the transfer portal in Braylon Moore and Josh Thompson. You got a couple of former top 100 players at offensive tackle. Yes, giant shoes to fill in Will Campbell and Emory Jones, but very athletic, capable shoes. Like, few questions. And the schedule's manageable. It's why I've said, man, like, I just hammer the over 8.5. I can't see them dropping below 9-3, but for this team, the expectation needs to be 10-2, because 10-2 is going to get you in the playoff. Remember, Ohio State won the championship a year ago. They were 10-2 in the regular season. So the days of seeing teams just blitzkrieg through a season, go undefeated, I just don't know that we're going to see that very commonly, if ever, anymore. Oregon was the only undefeated team, and they lost in the playoff, as we know. So I asked Jimmy Ott, I was like, hey, Jimmy, we've seen the early line on LSU Clemson, and Clemson's a 2.5-point favorite in that game. And I get it, right? I mean, that's if that were you get 3 points for being at home, that effectively says that's a pick 'em on a neutral site. But Clemson, a 2.5-point favorite at home, okay, I get it. Night game, Clemson, they return Cade Klubnik. They were a playoff team a year ago. I get Dabo's won a championship. I get it. I get why that line is what it is, and that'll generate a lot of action on both sides. But I'm looking going, okay, where else is LSU realistically going to be an underdog? So I asked Jimmy, if you remember this, to send me whatever lines that he had, and he sent me 4. He said LSU would be a 7.5-point home favorite against Florida and a 5-point home favorite against A&M. And on the road, they'd be a 2.5-point underdog against Ole Miss and a 6.5-point underdog against Alabama. Well, today in my inbox, BetOnline sent me an email with point spreads for 31 college football games this year, 31 premier college football games this year. And how did the Otter do? Remember, Jimmy said LSU would be a 7.5-point favorite against Florida at home in Baton Rouge. According to BetOnline, LSU, a 7-point favorite at home against Florida. So Otter nails that one. Said Ole Miss would be LSU would be a 2.5-point dog at Ole Miss. According to BetOnline, LSU, a 2.5-point dog at Ole Miss. Otter nailed that one. He said LSU would be a 5-point home favorite against A&M. BetOnline has LSU a 4.5-point favorite at home against A&M. We'll give him that within a half a point. And he said LSU would be a 6.5-point underdog at Alabama. According to BetOnline, LSU a 6.5-point underdog at Alabama. So Otter, can we get a big round of applause for our guy? The odd father. Here we go. Hey, when you're hot, you're hot. Or is it when you're hot, you're hot? When you're hot, you're hot. What do we say? When you're hot, you're hot.
When you're hot, you're hot.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Yeah.
I'll go with it. But even still, if you assume that holds, LSU loses Clemson, Ole Miss, Bama, you're 9-3. You're still over the 8.5 wins. And remember, Jimmy also told us that if LSU starts the season strong, they'll very likely then be favored by the time they get to that Ole Miss game. And that's one that I'm going to circle and say, I think Ole Miss is in for a world of hurt this year. Again, if I'm looking at the metric of fewest questions against most manageable schedule, I look at Ole Miss, and that's a team that loses their fifth-year senior starting quarterback in Jackson Dart. They lose their All-American receiver in Trey Harris. On the defensive side of the ball, they are losing all of those transfers they brought in: Walter Nolan, Princely, Uman Mielen, Trey Amos, Chris Paul. This is an Ole Miss team that was all in a year ago and now is seeing a dramatic exodus of talent. Maybe Austin Simmons is great at quarterback. I don't know if he will be. And yes, that game is in Oxford, but it's in September. Ole Miss might be one of those teams that come November is better than they are in September as they continue to get better and guys more experience. But that's one that I look at and go, kind of like LSU in that ball game going on the road at Ole Miss. And yes, the game at Alabama, I understand exactly why any odds maker is going to put LSU as a touchdown underdog on the road in Tuscaloosa. Now, regardless of what I think, the bottom line is LSU got the doors blown off of them the last 2 years because their inability to stop who? Jalen Milroe. Well, guess who ain't there anymore? Jalen Milroe. But I get it. You want to look at the decal on the side of the helmet? Okay. The game's on the road. I get it. LSU hasn't fared well against them. But LSU's had a dramatic infusion of talent defensively. And the guy that was the problem for you a year ago isn't there. And I got news, Kat. Ty Simpson ain't running around like Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe is a special athlete. He's a terrible thrower of the football, but he is a special athlete who beat LSU's brains in running the football, just like Marcel Reed did. So I look at this, and I remember, what Brian Kelly, this is a familiar refrain I think we're going to hear. What Brian Kelly said at the SEC spring meetings last week when he was talking about this roster and the expectation on this roster.
This is the best roster we've put together since I've been at LSU. And it takes time to put the roster together. Nobody has time for that. I get that. But we've developed our players, younger players in our program. We've taken some licks because of it. And we added some veteran players. So my eye is that this is the best roster we had. Now we got to go prove it.
It's the best roster you've had. Now you got to go prove it. It's the best roster you've had. Now you got to go prove it. So go prove it. Got a great opportunity. Some of those point spreads out. We'll look for more of them as we get closer to and through the season. By the way, if you want all 31 of those point spreads that I referenced, it's not just SEC. It's just 31 of the premier games of college football after week one. They're at LouisianaSports.net. It's up there. It's on the homepage. And again, at LouisianaSports.net, everything always free. So if you can pull this up, Holly. If you go to the homepage, LouisianaSports.net, you'll see it right there on the column under latest stories, and you'll see all 31 games right there. Like Michigan at Oklahoma. How about Oklahoma, a 1.5-point favorite against Michigan in that game? A&M, a touchdown underdog at Notre Dame. But Florida, 4-point underdog at Miami. Georgia, a 4-point home favorite against Alabama. Anyway, they're all there. It's 31 games. If you want to check out the point spreads, you can do it right now at LouisianaSports.net. It's totally free. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. I always encourage you to get by Rouse's.com, download the app. Remember, check the weekly ad. Whatever they have, whatever specials they have going on, you can find it there. So if you're shopping for groceries and shopping on a budget, Rouse's is going to save you money. It's a great way to do that. And, of course, if you want to support local businesses, local farmers, local fishermen, local manufacturers, local suppliers, Rouse's, every time they have a Rouse's branded product, they always do their best to source every single ingredient locally. So when you go to Rouse's, look for and choose those Rouse's branded products with the red R with the circle around it. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's, this feels like home. Okay, y'all, it is After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor's here in 15 minutes, so get your booze questions in. I will get to those. And when we come back, we go around the SEC. And a really cool honor for LSU senior transfer Chris Stanfield. That's next. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
If you're thinking of selling your home, you need to call Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Why? Because Darren does daily radio ads promoting the properties that he's selling. His listing, your home, like this one in Baker, 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3,200 square feet, a gorgeous home that was just price reduced on a giant piece of property, big pool in the back as well with water, a little pond on the property. You want to check it out? Agent225.com. Agent225.com. My goodness, that kitchen is gorgeous. Well, all the modern upgrades, so bright, pop, big, giant marble island. Check it out at agent225.com. If you're thinking of selling your home, you need the best. You need Darren James. Call Darren James today or go to agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I thought maybe this was an AI song. Was this your Scone diss track?
No, this is the song that listener has sent in to us to try out.
Serious?
Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
No way.
I promise you. Yeah.
So you didn't screen it before you played it? That's scary. You
no,
can say no, you didn't screen it clearly, because there's no way you would have played this.
Yeah.
There's a guy who keeps sending me tracks. He's like, "Hey, I'm sending this to you for for consideration to use on AFR." Like, okay, so I just forward him to Musa.
I was like, let's give it a shot.
Maybe screen it next time.
I will.
Yeah. Give the guy a shout out. Maybe someone loves it. What's his name?
Retward von Dorenberg.
There it is.
The Wind in My Hair is the name of this.
Retward
von Dorenberg.
It's our guy, Retward. We're a big Retward von Dorenberg show here. Big. He's a listener.
I appreciate that. I look, man. I like submissions and things of that nature.
Rettward. Von Dorenberg. Dorenberg. Shout out, Retward. Maybe not the vibe we're going for.
No, maybe a little bit more upbeat normally, but I
don't hate it. I mean, I like what he did.
Good, easy listening if that's what you're in the mood for.
Like if I'm finishing up a yoga class, and I'm doing the corpse pose at the end of a class.
I don't know what that pose is.
But that's just literally when you just lay on your back.
Oh, got it. Yeah, that
lay
makes
on your
sense.
back, palms up, feet out.
Yeah,
palms down. Yeah, down.
Palms down.
Not like down. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Corpse pose. And you're just doing your deep inhalation, exhalation, your deep breath work at the end of the class as you calm your heart rate and bring your body back to normal. That would be great for that. Building energy coming out of the break, probably not so much.
Not what we're looking for.
Not what we're looking for, Retward. But thank you, Retward. We are looking for Taylor Calandro here in about 10 minutes from right now. How about a little bit of a hat tip to Chris Stanfield? He's been named a finalist for the Tony Gwynn Community Service Award. Of course, Tony Gwynn, the late Hall of Famer, was also the coach at his alma mater, San Diego State, before he passed. Not far too young, but what a cool thing for Chris Stanfield. And we talked to Chris here on the show. I guess it had to be at or near the beginning of the baseball season, because the work he's doing is with Miracle League of Baton Rouge. He had done work with Miracle League in Auburn when he was there prior. And if you don't know, Miracle League is a really cool organization. My son Drew plays in Miracle League, and basically the whole premise is that every child deserves the opportunity to play baseball. So for special needs kiddos, they get to go out there and play baseball. And the field is over at the traction facility here in Baton Rouge. And Chris has been out there, and several LSU Tigers have been out there for the Miracle League games this year. Bear Jones went out. Michael Braswell, I know, went out as well. So hat tip to Chris Stanfield for the great work and doing the right thing with his platform. We salute you, Chris Stanfield, a finalist for the Tony Gwynn Community Service Trophy. Hope he wins it, man. Good on you, Chris Stanfield. All right, it's After Further Review. Do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the Florida Gators.
A Florida football player has been arrested. We don't know his name because he's a minor. So he's been detained in the Alachua County Juvenile Detention Center. So they're not releasing the player's name or an arrest report with charges because, as mentioned, he's a minor. Kevin Brockway, the Gainesville Sun, was the first to report it. Third-degree felony on charges of false imprisonment, dating violence.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Cornerback Justice Fitzpatrick has committed to Georgia. Yes, if you're wondering, that is the younger brother of former All-American Minka Fitzpatrick, but not going to Bama, instead committing to Georgia. He's the number 3 cornerback in the country, the number 41 overall recruit.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas has landed Carolina linebacker Caleb Gordon. 6 foot, 215-pound, 3-star prospect. Picked the Hogs over Clemson, Virginia, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, others. He's the number 134 linebacker in the country.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss signed 4-star transfer guard Casazza. That's obviously on the hardwood. The 68th best shooting guard in the country. Number 262 overall player. Had previously been committed to USC. He's a Paris, France native, entering his 5th season of college ball. Spent the last 2 years at High Point, where he was an all-conference player in back-to-back seasons.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And Nolan Stevens is entering the transfer portal. He's a California native. He's got 2 years of eligibility remaining for this past season. Played in 36 games for the Bulldogs, made 28 starts, hit .323 with 4 homers, did battle injury at times this past season. But a new day, new coach there in Stark Vegas, so expect more transfer portal news. All right, there you have it. That is around the SEC. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit, and they are local, and they are awesome. They've been helping Louisianians buy land for more than 100 years. If maybe you're thinking about an investment property, tax season's come and gone, timber property can be a great investment. Talk to your CPA to see if that's something that makes sense. And, of course, a lot of people who buy land already own land. So maybe you take the equity in your current property, use that, roll it into a new property. First South Farm Credit, they have the knowledge, the know-how. It's different than buying a home. Go through that process with someone who is specialized in being a land lender. It's First South Farm Credit. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. FirstSouthland.com. That's FirstSouthland.com. Okay, y'all, it is after further review. We are glad to have you hanging out with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Remember, you can always email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways to get your questions, comments involved, so please feel free to do so. Eric asked if we could upload the Musso 420 and Omaha AI song so people can listen to them. Those are awesome, he said. Where would we upload these? I mean, I guess I could upload it on Twitter. I don't know. Where else should we put this? Should we put it on I guess it's on the AFR podcast. You want to get it there? But we'll work on it. Workshop it. See what we can do. All right, y'all. It's after further review. We're not going to break. Taylor Calandro, Bourbon Dictionary is next.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Watermark in the Renaissance. Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown. Of course, 2 amazing hotel properties, 2 premier hotel properties in Baton Rouge. Watermark Hotel Downtown, the Renaissance Southtown, which is Bluebonnet right across from the Mall of Louisiana and Perkins Row. Tell you all the time, yes, a great place to stay. If you're having an event coming up, even better. Like, no matter what type of event, it's a fundraiser, an awards banquet, wedding receptions. They have 13,000 square feet of meeting space. They can manipulate that space however you want. We've done so many events at the Renaissance. Our LouisianaSports.net launch party was right there at the Renaissance in the area outside of Tallulah. We did an LSU baseball kickoff game watch party on the terrace outside of Tallulah, so an indoor-outdoor vibe we had. Any type of event you're looking to host, our friends at the Renaissance Hotel would love to have you. So call the Renaissance today. Ask for Allison Crum. She's the event coordinator over there. She'll handle every detail. It's right there. Check them out. It's Renaissance Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Taylor Calandro is here to get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, or text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. How are you, dude?
I'm good, Matt. The Tigers are playing this weekend, so I'm good.
Is when LSU baseball gets to this point of the season, is that helpful for you all? Like, do you all feel an impact there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little pick-me-up, but it's nothing crazy. Football's the big breadwinner. Everybody tends to flee the city when summer rolls around, so it kind of slows down a little bit. But, yeah, we'll get a little pop from it.
Makes sense. Lots of beach trips and different things at Disney or whatever people are doing as we get into the summer. Kids are out of school. But I'll tell you this, man. For me, most of our weekends are spent, obviously now watching baseball, but out by the pool. And that usually involves beers or RTDs or margaritas or something like that. So what's new right now?
We got the Whiskey Tree High Rye from 7-3 Distilling last week. I think it's $64. We've been getting asked for it a lot, actually, which is very pleasant for me.
Good.
And we still have that Noel single barrel Reposado. It's the only single barrel Noel Reposado that is in existence currently, and it's a lot different than the shelf stuff too. It's really good if you're a true tequila person. It's not super sweet. Like, I find the shelf stuff is pretty sweet, not overly sweet, but this has definitely got a lot more spice to it, which I really like. It's nice.
Let's remind people about 7-3 and the Whiskey Tree High Rye because it won double gold at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition, which it's an amazing honor because typically, Taylor, you know this, but to explain, when you start to win awards at an event like that, that's when your product starts to gain notoriety, mass distribution. Then it becomes harder to find. It becomes more sought after. But can you explain what a high rye is for people who maybe don't know?
So generally, you're gonna have rye in pretty much every bourbon, except if it's wheated. I mean, there's always a little bit of rye. For it to be bourbon, it's got to be 51% corn, obviously. But that in a high rye, it's going to have 51% corn at least. I don't remember what the proportions are, but the rye in it is going to be at a little bit higher percentage. And I don't know what they sit their rye at. They do a lot of blending. But it's probably going to be around 15 to 20% rye. So that's what high rye means. It is not a rye whiskey. And that throws a lot of people off. And I have to answer that question a lot. It is not a rye whiskey. It's a bourbon. It's going to have a little bit of more rye characteristic than normal with a little spice on it, but nothing unpleasant about it.
Yeah. And I love rye. So for those who don't know, the characteristic of rye commonly is it tends to be spicy, which I like a lot. So I love rye whiskey. But you can find we talk about it all the time. The Angels Envy rye is like candy. That's not I don't think that's a true representation of rye by any stretch of the imagination, but it is delicious. Yeah, don't be scared off of the whiskey tree because it says high rye on it. I have a bottle. It's delicious, and you said it's 60 retail.
I think we have it at 64. If I can remember correctly. Yeah. It's it's a good easy drinker. It's 100 proof, and it's not gonna bite you very hard. Don't let the rye throw you off.
We just haven't had many Louisiana distilleries that have produced high quality product. I mean, I'm just being very candid. To have one from here that's now an award winner is pretty cool. So congratulations to those guys, and I'd recommend check it out.
I stopped mine. I'm just selling it because it's local policy like 6 or 7 years ago. So it's got to be a good product to make it into the store. So
it's probably a smart decision. All right, here's one from Sean. Asked Taylor, have you tried a Ghost in the Machine, the new Parish Brew? Or is it Goats in the Machine? Goats in the Machine?
They did a Goats. I think
okay.
Goats
I thought it was a typo. Okay.
No. They're releasing it this weekend. I haven't got to try it. Jacob over at Parish is supposed to be bringing me some. It is brewery only, though, so he's supposed to be bringing me some for personal consumption, not for the store. But it's brewery only. I think they're releasing that Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure. But it's a collab with Jester King. I don't know if it's a double IPA or a single IPA, but I haven't got to try it yet. I should be getting some like tomorrow, though.
Which Jester King? Forgive my ignorance.
Jester King is a little farmhouse-style brewery actually out in the hill country in Austin. They do a lot of weird, wild fermentation. Like they'll roll trailers of fermenters out in the middle of fields of flowers and try to get wild bacteria. Yeah, man. Dude, Austin's weird.
Yeah, you don't say.
It's very weird. I used to live there. Little California, but Jester King's a cool spot. If you're out in Austin, they got a cool brewery with a bunch of stuff to do. It's really cool.
Okay. Scott said, "Hey Taylor, regardless of price, what's one bottle you will always buy?"
If it's available, one bottle I'll always buy, like probably Jack Daniel's Coy Hill or. I'm trying to think of something that's just crazy hard to get that I would just absolutely never pass up. It would probably be Jack Daniel's Coy Hill. That's been my latest obsession. I love that whiskey.
Why?
It's high proof and it drinks fantastic. It's just a big, full-flavored whiskey. Jack Daniel's has just been killing it with the special releases. And Coy Hill has been one of my favorite whiskeys in the past 5 years probably. So
I got a bottle a few years ago at the Calandro's raffle this year. I got another bottle of Coy Hill.
Oh, you did? That is the only bottle we got this year, too.
And I'll tell you, but I did trade it. I traded it as part of a package to Charles Haener for, if you remember, he won a bottle of George C. Stagg. And,
that's right.
And I was like, I'm not just doing a 1-for-1 trade. Like that's bad bourbon juju because that's a BTAC. It's Stag. I'm not doing that 1-for-1. So I put together like a 3 or 4 bottle package for him, but it included that Coy Hill. So
I cannot believe Charlie did that. I can't believe he came off that Stag. That's crazy.
he knew that meant way more to me than it did to him. You know, and so he was able to come away with like 4 really good bottles. One that I think he wanted for a client of his for a gift. One that he wanted for him. 2 other, like he came away really good. in
He's
that
a
trade.
simple man. He's just a simple man.
But I tell you, man, that's my first ever stag. So George C. Stag. So I've gotten Stag and Stag Jr. But it's the first ever George C. Stag. So I'm very grateful that he was willing to do that.
Yeah, that's a tough call there. I don't know what I would have done, but yeah, good on you.
Well, you're a big time bourbon guy, and he enjoys it, but it's not to the same degree. So he was willing to do it, which was awesome.
Absolutely, sure.
All right, we got to get out of here. We appreciate it. Talk next week.
All right, Matt. See you, man.
All right, that's Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Director over at Calandro's. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness Sports Center's coming up. Jake Haener says, we don't need no stinking veteran quarterback.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank vinyl siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well over at Relief Windows. You know, this is the time of year when it's 100 degrees outside. 90 is the air temp, heat index, getting close to triple digits. This is the time when you want to make sure your home is energy efficient. And Relief Windows can help. Install these energy-efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows. Do it once. You'll be done forever. That's Relief Windows. Go look at the Google reviews from Relief Windows. You can see the experience that other people have had. It's the same that I've told you about for, I don't know, a dozen years. Brandon Holly expects excellence from everyone in his organization, and they're going to treat you awesome. And, of course, they're going to sell you a premier product. It's Relief Windows. Check them out online at ReliefWindows.com, ReliefWindows.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always. No paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. One NBA head coaching vacancy has been filled. The Suns hiring Jordan Ott, one of the Cavaliers' top assistants, as their new head coach, reports ESPN's Shams Charania. This a day after the Knicks surprisingly fired coach Tom Thibodeau. New York's likely targeting a couple of familiar names in its search for his successor, explains ESPN NBA insider Brian Windhorst.
You start with Mike Brown in Sacramento, last year's coach of the year. Has a long history and has had a lot of success in the league across over 2 decades. You have Taylor Jenkins, who was the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, very successful there. And then you have Michael Malone from the Denver Nuggets, who was a championship coach.
Puck drops tonight in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final for the defending champion Panthers and Oilers. The teams located 2,541 miles apart, furthest travel distance between two teams in a Cup Final. Penguins hired former Rangers assistant Dan Muse as their new head coach. Lightning forward Nikita Kucherov named winner of the Ted Lindsay Award, presented to the most outstanding player in the NHL as voted by his peers in the Players Association.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Toby Tom, play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We'll head to Morgantown in 15 minutes. Get a check-in on the West Virginia Mountaineers. Next hour, Brad Neffendorf is going to be with us. Head coach of the LSU Shreveport Pilots, the NAIA national champion, 59-0 baseball squad. Excited about that convo. We'll get to congratulate Coach and talk about their remarkable season. That's coming up next hour. Saints are in their third and final week of OTAs. They'll be in a minicamp next week, so the off-season program is very much in flow and flux. And after that, they'll have a little time off before they report for training camp. And one of the big questions that remains to be seen is if the New Orleans Saints will, in fact, add a veteran quarterback. I'll remind you that our good buddy Alan Moore. Alan Moore. I had to get the full thing in there. Was asked a couple of weeks ago at OTAs if they planned to add a veteran quarterback. Here's what he said.
We'll certainly have awareness to it. I think there's a number of positions on our roster that as you go through it, we're kind of at that 90 mark now. And so now you're navigating, okay, what veterans are available, what guys were just in our camp that we feel really good about, maybe giving them an extended opportunity as we go through this process. We know this roster will move certainly in the next couple weeks as you kind of finish the OTA phase of this thing. And so, we have 3 quarterbacks right now. Certainly in a lot of cases you have 4, not always, but, certainly we're ready if the opportunity presents itself.
Okay. So, not no. We'll be aware to it. Not no, but it's not something they're very actively going to do in a lot of it is circumstance, right? Who's available? Aaron Rodgers said not interested. I don't think the Saints were interested in him anyway. One of the names we've brought up a lot here is Kirk Cousins. He is a guy that would stand to reason is going to be a post-June 1 release by Atlanta. I think most people are assuming that Cousins wants to go somewhere where he can be a starter. He's not going to be the starter in Atlanta where Michael Penix is their starting quarterback. So does he have that opportunity? We referenced a piece at CBS Sports last week that predicted and projected Kirk Cousins to end up in New Orleans. I'm in favor of that, by the way. Now, it depends on the deal, but if you can get a good value on a 1-year deal on a veteran quarterback, I'm for it. For all the reasons we've talked about. Bring in a veteran, add that veteran presence, mentor your young players, not throw so much on the shoulders of Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck so early in their careers, and let them grow and develop. Well, Jake Haener don't think that idea is worth a velvet painting of a whale and a dolphin getting it on. Jake Haener was talking to the media and was asked about bringing in a veteran quarterback. He says, and I quote, I mean, what are you going to get from that? Those guys on staff are veterans, man. They've done it. They've been through it. You've got everything you need in terms of what to look for, what to ask, what to see. They've seen it all. They've been around it. He went on. If there's anything we're missing, that we don't have all the answers to the test, we're still young. We have a lot to learn. They're great resources to have, meaning the coaches on staff that were quarterbacks. He wasn't done. It allows you to see different perspectives. The coaches understand that. Hey, every quarterback is different. My footwork at times may be different from Spencer's and Tyler's, and we're going to build this thing up to the point where, hey, you do whatever's comfortable if you're throwing the ball on time and on rhythm. Okay. You ever ask yourself why Drew Brees gives so much credit to Doug Flutie for the job he did in mentoring Brees as a young player? The value? I mean, we have, from Drew Brees' mouth, we have played those clips for you talking about how much of his career he owes to Doug Flutie because of what he learned and the mentorship he got from Doug Flutie in San Diego. You ever ask yourself why Drew Brees wanted Mark Brunell as his backup, wanted Chase Daniel as his backup? Now, Daniel was younger, but Brees saw, as a player, a future Hall of Famer, saw value in having that skill set, that presence, that extra set of eyes. Mark Brunell brought the Jacksonville Jaguars as an expansion franchise to the AFC Championship game in their second year of existence. And Brees wanted him in New Orleans. By the way, remember Jameis Winston? Former number 1 overall pick in the draft. Had the weight of a franchise dumped on him in Tampa from jump. Threw for a bunch of yards, was a 5,000-yard passer. Threw for a bunch of touchdowns, had a lot of interceptions, wasn't always great. Tampa didn't extend him. He becomes a free agent. He comes to New Orleans. Jameis goes on the Charlie Ward podcast in April of 2020 and talked about why he came to New Orleans with Peyton and Brees.
Being a part of New Orleans Saints, being a part with Drew Brees, Taysom Hill, Sean Payton, Coach Joe Lombardi, Coach Pete Carmichael Jr. When you think about that room, I mean, that's like a Harvard education in quarterback school.
So Jameis, the former number 1 overall pick, comes to New Orleans as a backup, says that's like a Harvard education for quarterback school. Brees enjoyed his time with Doug Flutie, wanted good backups there as well, good quarterbacks around him. There were veteran quarterbacks they could learn from and have another set of eyes. So you look at that and you wonder, why does Jake Haener say, and I quote, I mean, what are you going to get from that? Those guys on staff are veterans, man. They've done it, been through it. You got everything you need in terms of what you're looking for, what to ask, what to see. They've seen it all. They've been around it. Of course, those coaches on staff, Kellen Moore, Doug Nussmeier, Scott Tolzien, Scott Linehan, all these guys that are on staff in New Orleans were former quarterbacks. And that's true. But you ever ask why Jake Haener, you ever think why Jake Haener wouldn't want a veteran quarterback? Job security. It's easy. Right now, Jake Haener's one of 3. It's Shuck, Rattler, and Haener. You bring in do you think Jake Haener, who right now, I think we'd all agree, is running a distant third in this battle? Rattler beat him out last year. Now you go use the 40th overall pick on Tyler Shuck. Haener's running a distant third. You think the guy that's third wants Kirk Cousins and his 13 years of experience, his 159 starts, his 42,972 career passing yards, his 288 career passing touchdowns? Do you think Jake Haener, the third quarterback, wants that guy in the room? Because guess what that means for Jake Haener? He gone. Bye-bye. Cut. You think he wants Aaron Rodgers and his 4 MVP trophies in that room? Even Teddy Bridgewater. You think Jake Haener would be pumped about having Teddy B? His 10 years of experience, his 65-game start, his awesome bike life celebration. You think Jake Haener, Mr. Glamour Shots, wants those guys in the room? You think Jake Haener, Mr. 6-game PED suspension, wants that amount of experience there? You think Jake Haener and his 226 career passing yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception wants those guys in the room? He wants job security. Why do you think he's poo-pooing it? None of the coaches are going to take his job as a backup quarterback. Kirk Cousins will. Aaron Rodgers will. Teddy Bridgewater will. You cut from the bottom, dog. He's gone if that happens. You're asking the wrong guy. That's like going into any business and finding your lowest performing employee and saying, hey, do you think we should bring in a consultant to evaluate our efficiency and effectiveness in this organization? What do you think they're going to say? No, dog, we good. I'm hanging out in the corner eating Cheetos, playing Minecraft. Please don't bring in a consultant. We're good. That's what Jake Haener's doing. And I'm over here popping PEDs, taking glamour shots. We got plenty of coaches that know quarterbacks. We don't need to bring in another quarterback because they're going to take your job. You're asking the wrong guy. Yes, you need a veteran quarterback in this room. I have said it. We'll continue to say it. You need a veteran quarterback in the room. If you can get Kirk Cousins, great, at a reasonable price. If not, and there's someone like Teddy Bridgewater who's been around the league for a decade, they can take some of the pressure off your young guys, maybe provide some mentorship. There's only a benefit to that. So yes, absolutely. Stop asking Jake Haener questions. Jake Haener. I mean, the total dismissive nature of that makes me not even like Jake Haener anymore. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Evamore. EVAMOR. Evamore.com. Evamore.com. Local product. Got a natural artesian well right there on the North Shore Lake Pontchartrain in Covington. You pull into the, I've been there. You pull into the plant. Like the well is right there. I mean, they built the plant around the well naturally. They got all the piping that goes into the well. A natural, ancient, underground aquifer. It's Mother Nature's masterpiece. Pull the water out of the ground. The only filtration is just to get the sediment out of the water from the ground. It goes right into the bottle, capped, doesn't touch air until you open it, taste that first delicious sip. It's Evamore. EVAMOR. You want something healthier, better form of hydration for your family. If you're an elite athlete, you want Evamore. EVAMOR, Evamore.com, Evamore.com. All right, it's After Further Review. We are counting down to the Baton Rouge Super Regional, LSU, West Virginia, 1 o'clock Saturday, Game 1. Let's head up to Morgantown, get a closer look at the Mountaineers. We'll do that next on AFR.
AFR.
It's 100 degrees outside. You better not go home and find out your AC's out. How miserable is that? Right in the summer. That's why I tell you all throughout spring. I mean, I hate to be the guy outside sitting here telling I told you so, but tell you all throughout spring, make sure you get your preseason, AC tune-up, all that stuff. I mean, we're a little late for that now. I mean, it's 90 degrees outside, heat index pushing triple digits. If you do run into a problem with your AC, it's not cooling properly. It's not keeping up. Our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air, give them a buzz. They'll help. They're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Shane sent this 5-star Google review. Said Joseph was on time, was very informative with the diagnosis of the problem. He was thorough and very personable. He helped solve the problem, got the AC back functioning properly. Another 5-star Google review from River City's 1 Hour Air. Yours could be next. You ever ask yourself why River City's 1 Hour Air has double the amount of 5-star Google reviews than the next closest competitor? Find out today. 752-0001.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We're in an awesome situation going to LSU, and I was thankful we played at Clemson because I thought that environment at Clemson was loud and pretty ruckus, and you had those kids in the bullpen that were like touching our guys warming up. It was a mess, but I thought as far as like environments, our home environment is so good now. The Clemson environment was great, so I think our guys will be prepared in that avenue.
Steve Sabins, he is the West Virginia head baseball coach. Spent nearly a decade there as an assistant. This is his first year, though, as the head coach, and he has got the ears. 2 wins away from the College World Series. Mike Casazza covers the West Virginia Mountaineers for 247 Sports at earsports.com, EERsports.com. He's on Twitter at Mike Casazza. Lots of owls. I can empathize. Mike, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. Fun time, huh?
It's our pleasure. We're looking forward to it. What's sort of the vibe check there in Morgantown?
You know, I think a lot of people would stand on the outside looking at this and just think that West Virginia's got house money. Like, hey, we're here and see what happens. I don't know, man. Like, that was kind of what they did last year. They had to go to Chapel Hill for the Super Regional. It was the first Super Regional ever for the school. But now it's back-to-back. They've survived a coaching transition. Survived isn't even the right word. They've prospered through a coaching transition. They were red hot at multiple times during the regular season, and then they really kind of slumped toward the end. But here they are, like going to a Super Regional for the second straight season, the second time in school history, and a huge challenge. I think they understand that, but they've seen, as Zayman was saying there, pretty raucous crowds. They've seen good pitching. They've seen good teams, not the team as good. I just don't think that they're going to be like tail between the legs. I don't think they're coming for a participation trophy. expect that they will, try to win this thing, as weird as that may sound, right?
No, I don't think it's weird at all. You're 2 wins away from Omaha. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody would be all in and try to go find a way to win 2 games and go to Nebraska. Would you say the strength of the team is the pitching staff, or is it the offense?
It is the top end of the pitching staff.
Okay.
Their bullpen has been not great, including the regional, but their starting pitching, their 1-2 is very good. They have a first-team All-Big 12 pitcher. They have another all-conference pitcher who really only was a starter for, I think, 6 or 7 regular season and Big 12 tournament games and regional games. So it's not like he was doing this all year, but his numbers and his performances have been very good. Their trouble is if the starters don't go deep into the game and they can't get to their top relievers, and that conversation is even smaller now because they've had some struggles and some injuries. And what happens if they go to a Game 3? They were really stressed in Game 3 of the regional. If they had to go to Game 4 or Game 5, that was going to be a problem for them, I think. So they did okay. Fine in that regard. And it's been good enough because their offense for a long time was very good in on-base percentage and batting average. Not a big bat team. They don't hit a lot of doubles and homers, but they scored a lot of runs. That cooled off, and that really hasn't heated up yet. But they did score, 9 runs against Clemson. They had 2 6-run innings to erase 5-run deficits, a pair of them actually, against Kentucky in the clincher. So they probably feel better about their offense. Starting pitching's fine. Their bullpen's been a problem, though.
Sounds eerily familiar. A lot of the conversations having around here. Let's talk about Griffin Kern, because I would assume that's who's going to get the ball on Saturday opposite Cade Anderson. So we'll see the lefty-lefty matchup there. Give us the breakdown of Kern, the big 6'3" lefty.
He's a Division II kid, and this is the second year in a row they've had a Division II transfer who's left-handed who's been their Friday starter. So lightning strikes twice here. This is not something that happens very often, but here's someone who thought he was really good, but he was from a small part of Illinois and just kind of a late bloomer. But he went to a Division II school, Quincy University in Illinois, and did okay, had some good success. He went to the Cape in between his sophomore and junior years and did okay. Just didn't get a lot of attention in the portal, came back and dominated again in Division II, went to the Cape again. But in between those times, he just decided, I'm going to provide myself the resources that Division II kids don't have. So he started having a personal trainer and a pitching coach and a strength coach and acupuncturist. And then he went to the Cape and he lit it up. And at this point, he was headed to West Virginia. And West Virginia went from big investment to big ROI. They thought they had something right there. And he's been their Friday starter the entire season. That's kind of an unusual thing. A transfer from a Division II to be your Friday guy, and unquestioned. And he's a first-team all-conference player. And tools, velocity, spin rate, dip, drop, all that, fine. He's a really competitive kid. He doesn't mind going 7, 8, 9 innings. Doesn't mind grinding through a bad inning or a tough part of the lineup. And I know that LSU's familiar with this, but he started the Friday game through 118 pitches, and then he came back and he closed the Sunday game. So that's a guy that they do not mind asking to endure tough situations. Hey, we don't trust our bullpen. Can you get through this? Can you get yourself right? Or, hey, we don't trust our bullpen. Can you be our closer? And that's kind of a gift for this team that they really needed.
Mike Casazza is with us. earsports.com covers West Virginia. So Kern will go game 1 against Anderson. I guess the other arm you're talking about would be Cartsonas. But it was interesting, Mike, I've looked at a lot of the weekends, and it looks like that number 2 spot is kind of shuffled a good bit. So how have they handled that throughout the year, just the weekend rotation?
So their number 2 was a Carson Estridge, who's a really toolsy pitcher. He's probably got a pro career if he's healthy, and that's been an issue late in the season. And they wanted to make him the number 2 this year. And he was okay for a while, but he wasn't getting deep into games, and he wasn't pitching clean innings, and he wasn't giving them great outings. He was so good in the postseason last year, in the regional and the super regional, out of the bullpen. Came in some tough spots and got out of jams, and looked like he had just wipe out stuff sometimes. They said, you know what, let's make him a starter. That'll be great. And it just didn't work. And they said, we need a Tog in the bullpen. So they moved him back there. And from the bullpen, they moved Jack Cartsonas, who's an older player, 5th-year senior, who's at Kent State. He's been through arm injuries. He's missed seasons. And, in fact, he had a surgery after he committed to West Virginia in the portal. But West Virginia knew him from high schools. He's from Pittsburgh. That's regional for West Virginia. And said, if we get him right, we got something here. And they nursed him along through the fall and the preseason. Small pitch counts, good situations for him, and he was very, very good. He's got a great sinker. He gets a lot of ground balls. Doesn't have to throw a ton of pitches to get a ton of outs. And they decided, he started before, could he be our number 2, and could we move Carson Estridge back to the bullpen and get that hammer in the back end? And they did. And Estridge was comfortable again in the bullpen, and Cartsonas was just a 7-inning guy on Sundays, which is a huge thing in conference series, as you well know, because your bullpens can get depleted in the first and second games, and sometimes you're throwing guys who are just healthy or available on Sundays. And he was keeping the bullpen in check, and they were able to be more aggressive on Fridays and Saturdays, and that was their secret sauce for a while. But their number 2 pitcher in between was Gavin Van Kempen, who was like a draft league prospect and was really good for a while, but just never was able to extend. He had some arm injuries. He's out now. He won't pitch in the regional last week or this week now. So it's going to be Cartsona's number 2, and he's just filled a huge need for them, because if they don't do this experiment, they really don't have another 2 starter, and he's come forward in a big way for them. And again, to be an all-conference player, starting a third of the conference games, that's a pretty significant achievement.
Mike, if it gets to a day 3, what do you think, best guess, they would do? Obviously not knowing what would happen in the bullpen in relief in games 1 and 2, but if they get to a game 3, best case, how does that look?
It's a great question, because when we had our interviews with Steve Sabins, the manager of the day, he was talking about all the challenges, and he said, hey, we just got to go figure out a way to win a 3-game series against LSU. That's hopefully a 2-game series. They were in that.
God bless.
Truth,
yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
I don't want to put words in his mouth because he's great with the media, but I think I got what he was putting down.
Yeah, there. No, of course. I wasn't being in any way dismissive, and I understand where he's coming from. That's a tough ask, But of course, that's
the reality, right?
It's what both. I think it's what Jay Johnson is sitting here hoping as well. You don't want to get to a 1-game season on Monday because baseball's weird.
Yeah, I mean they would probably go opener. And truth be told, if you look what they did, they played in the regional, which is very different than the super regional, and they only played 3 games in the regional, and they were tapped. They were throwing guys in there who hadn't pitched, but also had never pitched as well as they did in their clinching games. So they got some clutch performances, but can they rely on that to happen again? Can I ask a freshman or a sophomore, or a guy who's never pitched in this type of scope before, can they do that again? Maybe, maybe not, but they'll probably go opener. The wild card here, though, and the one to watch, is Chase Meyer. Has just electric stuff, and he can throw 9 pitches, strike out 3 guys. He can throw 9 pitches and miss the strike zone on each one of them and draw the pitching coach out. What the heck is going on here? And it's one or the other sometimes with him. So he could be a guy that if he's not used in the first 2 games, and that's why Kern and Cartsonas are so important. If they can go 6-7 innings, they have enough relievers to get through the 7th, 8th, 9th, and be okay. And if they get to a 3rd game, if Meyer hasn't pitched very much or hasn't pitched at all, he can start. He's done it before. He's given them 4.2 innings against Texas Tech and just looked great. But he's also had, within the same game, if you look at their regional performance, strikeout, walk. And what are you getting with him sometimes? So he's really a wild card. Will they use him early? How will they use him? Do they kind of keep him muted so maybe he's available for a 3rd game? But a lot of attention on Kern and Cartsonas for sure, but Meyer's the one you need to keep an eye on.
Mike, it's odd. LSU has a guy named Jacob Myers, who it's the same thing. He can touch 101, but sometimes it's friggin' Rick Vaughn. I mean, it may go to the backstop. But, man, if he is on, look out, because it is special stuff. A couple more for you. We've all looked, and just 55 homers, but 108 stolen bases. Is it fair to classify this as an offensive team? Get them on, get them over, get them in offense?
Yeah, they used to steal a ton of bases and have a ton of sack bunts under the previous manager. And then, for maybe 23, 24, they hit a lot of homers, 88, 92. Those are big numbers here. They just don't get clout guys here. And their park is not conducive to all that sometimes. The wind could blow around. It's crazy. This year, they got on base so much. They get hit a lot. They take walks. They had a great batting average, and they would steal appropriately. And then when the batting average kind of dried up, they never had a way to supplement things. You couldn't hit the 3-run homer. You needed 3 singles to get a run. And the game's harder that way. and pitchers were able to pick different spots and have to challenge and be careful with your pitches, because if you do walk this guy, if you lose this guy, this next pitch isn't going over the fence. It might be a single. And okay, now if you got two on, well, guess what? They're not going to hit the 3-run homer. It might be another single. The bases are loaded, or it's 1 run instead of 3. And I think that just kind of worked against them a little bit as teams got more hit to their lineup. And just to be honest, man, they had some guys who struggled. They made 2 changes to their starting lineup for the regional. Like, they took 2 bats out and put 2 bats at that hadn't played very much of it all. And here they are at the end.
Man, it's just interesting. Look, LSU does have some power in the lineup, but it's interesting how similar these two teams seem to be with their composition and makeup and how they've gotten to this point. But you win 44 games, you're doing something right, as West Virginia has. Mike Casazza covers West Virginia as part of 24/7 Sports, earsports.com. Best case scenario, I know you said, would be, look, win the first 2 games behind 2 dominant arms. If it does get to a day 3, how do you think that looks? Not just in the starting pitching, which we talked about, but like, what do you think is a blueprint for Coach Saban's on Monday if it gets there?
Yeah, I'm glad you said what you just said about how, like, they're kind of even, and they're not even, but, like, yeah, you can certainly sit there and talk about these teams like that sounds familiar. But I wrote about this today. If you look at their revenues, their expenses, it's a completely different sport. Like, they're not in the same atmosphere at all. But here they are. They're going to be on the same field for 3 days. And that means a lot, too. I'm sure both teams, like LSU's not going to be like, well, we're better because we have more funding. And West Virginia's going to be like, we don't belong here because we don't have the same revenue. Like, that's not going to enter their heads. And West Virginia's been the best road team in the country this year, more road wins than anybody. Their first walk-off win this year came on the road, right? So, like, they have this weird, like, verve and aura about them. I just don't think that they're going to be on the field on Monday and be like, well, we don't belong here, because they'll have earned their right there either by winning either by winning Saturday or Sunday against a very good starting pitcher. And then at that point, it's a race of 27. And I do not think that what LSU did against Little Rock is indicative of what that team is. This looks like a team that can win the national championship for sure, and West Virginia knows that. But West Virginia saw 2 really good pitchers and then a blank. And then the plan for the 4th game didn't work out perfectly, although they got the ball. They're a great reliever, and they brought in their starter at the end. It worked fine, but, like, if you can put them in that position, that's probably West Virginia's goal. If it is in a game 3, they're going to be off script, and so will West Virginia. And now this thing is very even, and you just see what happens.
You'll get him on Twitter at Mike Casazza. Great follow this weekend. I did retweet the piece that you posted this morning, earlier today, about the baseball revenues. It's very interesting looking at the stark contrast between the 2 programs, but here they are, both in the same situation, 2 wins away from the College World Series. Mike, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for the time.
Thank you, man. Very kind of the invitation. I appreciate it.
Of course, it's our pleasure. It is After Further Review. Had dinner last night over at Supper Club with some of my friends over at Our Lady of the Lake. I'm just thrilled with this partnership and being able to tell you more and more as I learn more and more, not just about Our Lady of the Lake, which has been a part of my life, really my whole life, from volunteering at the Ronald McDonald Playroom at the lake back when I was in high school to helping so many fundraisers for the standalone children's hospital in the early 2010s as they're going through that process. I mean, the Driving the Future 5-car giveaway. We just had the 5 vehicles at the parish office just a few weeks back. My son, we've taken Drew to the standalone children's hospital. My doctor is Dr. Kurt Chastain at the Our Lady of the Lake Men's Health Group. So the lake has been such a part of my life. And I'm learning so much more now about the Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady, FMOL, which is the hospital system under which Our Lady of the Lake operates. And, of course, the championship healthcare partner and the championship health partner of LSU athletics. The same amazing medical care that LSU student athletes get. It's the same medical care that Our Lady of the Lake offers to LSU students in their health center and to you and me when we go to any of their facilities, hospitals, clinics all over greater Baton Rouge, much of Louisiana, and along the multi-state footprint that FMOL, the system, serves. It's Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, championship health partners, OLOL and LSU. Together, we roar. Okay, it's After Further Review. Let me knock out a quick break. We will do Tigers and the Pros a little more than 10 minutes from right now. Another LSU baseball Tiger has entered the portal. I'll get to that in just a bit. If you missed it, Whit Weeks was a guest on Wednesday morning on Off the Bench with Hester and Matt Flynn. Great convo. I got some takeaways from that that will get you here in about a half an hour. So stay with us. A ton to do on AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen Air Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs tell you every day to buy local and shop local. And when the weather gets nice, it's time to get outside. Get your hands in the dirt, y'all. You need that grounding. Get in touch with Mother Nature. Get your hands in the dirt and just plant something. If you're not sure what to plant, go by Clegg's. They'll have great ideas. Just pick out some pretty flowers or something that you think would look good, or ask them. They got all the answers for you. And maybe it's not planting. Maybe it's other lawn care you need. Maybe you have weeds. Maybe you have dead spots in your grass. Maybe you've got unwanted pests like ants. Tell you all the time about the Aeon mosquito barrier. This thing is $30. It's the size of a track baton. It's got granules in it. You fill it up to the fill line. You shake it up, hang it on your property line. You are done with mosquitoes 90 days at a time, just like that. It's the Aeon mosquito barrier. I don't know how it works, but trust me, it does. It's at Clegg's Nursery. So buy local, shop local, and tell them Matt sent you into Clegg's Nursery.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I rolling along here. Always appreciate our friends at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Was actually over there yesterday. You know, we talk about the hormone replacement therapy. Of course, they do ED treatments. I've told you about my experience with BPC 157, which is body protection compound 157. It's been known to aid in recovery. Been using it for my back pain. So far, really good results. And I'm about to start. I literally just went yesterday to pick up my NAD+. So if you're not familiar, NAD+, it's a crucial coenzyme. It's found in all living cells. Ultimately, to its core, NAD+ levels naturally decline with age. which can help or contribute to age-related diseases. Well, NAD+ is an injectable compound that can help effectively re-energize your cells, like literally getting younger at the cellular level. It's kind of like a fountain of youth. So if you're interested, learn more. I mean, there's cellular metabolism benefits, there's DNA repair, decrease the aging process. Learn more at yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. So many ways to live and feel your best, most vital, fullest life. yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Chandler Dorsey has entered the transfer portal, so that's a fifth LSU Tiger now that's hit the portal. We know Dorsey's story, for those that don't remember. Chandler Dorsey was the closer a year ago at South Florida, so he's from Florida. He spent 2 years at USF, and then comes to LSU, and we thought he'd probably find his way into being a contributor out of the bullpen this year. It just never really materialized. Dorsey only had 5 outings all season for LSU this year. In those 5 outings, just 5 innings pitched, had a 5.40 ERA. The 5 outings, none of them in SEC play. We talked to him last June, a year ago, when he transferred to LSU. Chandler Dorsey came on AFR with us, and we asked him about why he was leaving South Florida.
After a tough season and tough past couple of seasons, didn't make the playoffs this year. Our coach was sadly let go, and it's always a sad thing. I really had a good relationship with him, but I took it as an opportunity to go ahead and enter the portal, for a new and better change, and obviously it worked out. I got to LSU. It was number 1 on my list, and I couldn't be happier with how things turned out.
I mean, that was a year ago, and I'm curious what Chandler would think now. A year at LSU, and quite honestly, when you're talking about a bullpen arm that's struggling to find innings in a bullpen that struggled as much as LSU's bullpen struggled this year, it is kind of indicative of how the season went for Dorsey. And this was in that same interview a year ago where he talked about, again, last June, talked about what he thought his role would be this year at LSU.
As of right now, obviously I was a closer last year. I never got the opportunity to start, sadly. Going every year is kind of like, hey, you're going to be our closer. I was fine with it. I loved closing, but going into this year, I've added a few pitches to my arsenal, and going to make strides in my development. And if it's a possibility, things are looking good. I might be able to start. I always have closing, being a relief pitcher, in my back pocket if that's what I need to do to help the team win. But whatever happens, I'm excited to be on the mound.
Just didn't happen this year for Chandler Dorsey, so he hits the portal. And I'm going to be interested in this portal cycle. So, by the way, that's 5 players now in the portal in this cycle, with Blaze Priester, Dylan Thompson, David Hogg, and Ryan Costello are the 4 in this portal cycle. Previously, remember Trevor Schmidt, who signed with LSU out of the portal last year, ended up, when LSU continued adding players, Eddie Yaman, Luis Hernandez, Jones came back, didn't sign. Schmidt left. And then Trent Lapes also entered the portal previously. So, but 5 right now in this portal cycle. You've added Braden Simpson out of High Point, the big power hitting infielder. You hit 389 with 22 homers. And so Jay's going to add more, and you're going to lose more as well. It'll be interesting. But I think for me, my biggest question for Jay Johnson this year in the portal is, does he go back and play the numbers game again? Because last year, when you look at just the double-digit number of players they added, I know what the approach was, but just like we talk about in football, this is an evolution as you go through the portal era and NIL and all this stuff to figure out what's the best way to build a roster. Is it recruiting and developing high school guys? Do you add numbers out of the portal and hope to hit on 8 of the 12 or 6 of the 12? Or do you pool your resources to get the immediate impact high-end guys? Yeah, I'll give you an example. Like, if you look at cumulatively, whatever NIL money that LSU spent to bring in Chandler Dorsey and Dalton Beck and Eddie Yaman and Connor Benj. Look at the number of guys that you brought in via the portal that didn't contribute. Well, what if you were able to take those funds and instead of adding that handful of guys that weren't contributors for you, that even if they had been contributors, they would have just been just that, not starter impact guys. I mean, you brought in Daniel Dickinson with the idea like you're an everyday dude hitting near the top of our lineup. You brought in Anthony Irons and going, you're the top right-handed arm in the portal. We need you to be a starter, and he has been. Like, you go add those guys. My thought is, why not, instead of playing the numbers game in the portal, pool your resources and go get the best player in the portal? Like last year, LSU desperately wanted Gavin Keelan from Louisville. He's the shortstop and went to Tennessee and had an awesome year. Like, if that's the guy that you want and you miss out because Tennessee outspent you, which is what happened. And by the way, it's not to be disparaging. That's just how this works. LSU in football just outspent everybody. I mean, LSU did that in baseball in large part. I mean, they've got a giant roster budget. It's not the biggest. Tennessee, Georgia, Texas A&M, they all spend more. Arkansas, they all spend more than LSU does. But LSU still spends a lot. So what if you allocated those resources instead of going and get Dorsey and Beck and Yaman and Benj and guys like that are marginal takes? What if you take all that and go get Ace Reese from Mississippi? Hypothetically, like if Ace Reese goes in the portal, like there's been a lot of chatter about that. Chris Lemonis gets fired. He's an everything power hitting third baseman. You're going to need a third baseman with Braswell going to the portal. Like if Ace Reese goes in the portal, go all in and get him. Because I got news for you, man. That's going to be your competition. If Ace Reese goes in the portal, it's going to be LSU and Tennessee and Texas and Texas A&M and Georgia. Like the best teams are going to be vying for him. So you got to make your pitch, but you got to go be as competitive as they are financially. So that's kind of what I would like to see him do. Instead of taking 12 to 15 guys in the portal, take 7 where 4 of them are go get Tommy White. Go do that. Because that's more impactful than adding a guy that might give you some innings out of the bullpen. So we'll see if the approach changes in this offseason. Tough for Jay and all the coaches still playing. I mean, the portal's open, and you're still coaching in a Super Regional this weekend in Omaha. So it's a big challenge as you're trying to build next year's roster while trying to win a championship. And, man, I can empathize, but it's what it is with the calendar right now. So we'll keep you posted as there's more portal developments in baseball. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll wrap up hour number 2, Mucil Tigers and the Pros. Don't you move. It's AFR.
After further review.
Man, I always love being able to share great reviews from those of you who have called our sponsors and had a great experience. Johnny, last name begins with an H. I won't tell you his last name. I don't know if he wants me to say it on air. But he sent me this message privately on Facebook and said, Matt, longtime listener, first time messaging you. He said, I want to let you know and give you some credit. My wife and I sat down with Derek Duplessis this past Saturday, and we signed to begin installing a pool at our house. Told them without your show, probably wouldn't have even reached out to them, but am I happy I did. So thank you and have a great day. That may not be a 5-star Google review because it ain't on Google yet, but how powerful is that? Do what Johnny did. If you're thinking of building a pool, call Duplessis, sit down with Derek, have that conversation. I promise you'll be blown away and you'll be thrilled with the decision. DuplessisBuilders.net.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
You gotta believe in a dream. You gotta believe in the dream. Believe. You gotta believe. Whole team on wild.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Wrapping up hour number 2. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Muso. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
Paul Skeens tossed another gem.
Yeah, he did.
On Tuesday night. 8 innings, 1 run, 1 walk.
Got a big win, didn't he?
8 punch-outs.
Wow. Huge win for Paul Skeens.
Lowered the ERA to 2.05.
How about that? Sounds like a winner.
And the Pittsburgh Pirates got shut out because they freaking stink. I hate that team. I really do, Scone.
How about this?
What? No, I had it pulled up. Go ahead, read it. I was going to read it too. Read it. Read it.
Paul Skeens has allowed only 19 earned runs in 13 starts this year, but the Pirates have lost 8 of those games.
What the hell is that? The guy's the betting favorite for the NL Cy Young. He's probably going to start the All-Star game for a second year in a row. He could end up being the MVP potentially. The hell is going on? Golly.
Have they called up Connor Griffin yet?
No.
They need to.
They need to.
Get somebody in there who can hit.
Man, he had 4 hits last night.
That is poo-poo.
It's so bad.
Who threw for Houston?
Lance McCullers. Lance McCullers got the win, and not Paul Skeens.
Well, Lance McCullers has pitched in World Series.
It's fine. It's like, I'm fine with that. Lance McCullers is very good. He also threw shutout ball. But what in the world are we doing?
Oh, man.
God.
Oh, man.
Baseball's such a stupid game. All right. I love it. I love it so much, but I don't like the Pirates.
I love it. So good.
Cole Henry threw 2/3 shutout innings for the Pirates. For the Nationals last night. He's been awesome. Love to see that. And then our guy, Todd Peterson.
Let's go.
He came in to get the final out. Todd Peterson did. He didn't. He gave up an unearned run.
No!
Yeah, I know. Todd Peterson. It was his first loss of the year, but he's got an ERA of 1.8 so far in AAA, man. Todd Peterson's throwing the ball well.
Cyclones lost.
The Cyclones lost. Actually, I don't know if they did or not, but, Todd Peterson.
Chad Peterson.
That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. It'll tell you all the time if you go to the website they've got all the inventory, new and certified pre-owned. And if it's on the lot, it's online. So you go to the tab there at the top. You can hit search inventory, and then it'll pop up not stock photos like factory photos of the actual vehicle that's on the lot there on Airline Highway. So, I mean, here's a ton of atlases that they've got ready to roll, and it's the actual photos with all the specs on that vehicle. Look at that one. 2025 Atlas 2.0T Peak Edition, tricked out with them blacked out rims. Erica's got those on her Atlas. You know, you're right. I'm dead serious. Like, Erica really has like the tricked out rims and everything on her Atlas. She wanted. I'm like, are you crazy? It's not, get what you want. South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right. Hour number 3 coming up right after SportsCenter. Stick around.
After further review.
Man, I love telling you about Parish Restoration. ParishRestoration.com. ParishRestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. It's their patented non-toxic dry fog. If you've probably seen the vans, they've got those Sprinter vans running all over town. So Jim Woodworth, shout out, veteran, Air Force veteran who owns Parish Restoration. You'll see those vans running all over town, and so they have all the hosing, layer like running through the van. So it's a mobile sanitization unit. So they'll come to your house, your office, church, school, but whatever it is, and they'll unwind the hose and bring it all the way into the house. They'll spray the entire thing. You close up the doors and the windows. You let the fog dwell. It'll kill everything down to the spores. As soon as the fog dissipates, boom, you're back in, free and clear, clean, smelling, sanitized building, courtesy of Parish Restoration. ParishRestoration.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Sunshine, We know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The Suns hiring Cavaliers assistant Jordan Ott as their new head coach, reports ESPN's Shams Charania. Ott, one of Cleveland's top assistants, is known for his strong offensive and defensive creativity and toughness, as well as being a strong communicator. While Phoenix's head coaching search is over, the Knicks is in the early stages following Tom Thibodeau's dismissal. The New York job's an attractive one, but has some challenges too, points out First Take host Stephen A. Smith.
When you look at the team, even though it's good and it's going to be a playoff team, they're limited in the movement that they can exercise in the future. You gave up 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges. You also gave up another first-round pick when you acquired Karl Anthony Towns. You improved offensively, but you compromised depth, toughness, and you compromised flexibility.
A Stanley Cup rematch gets underway tonight when the Oilers and defending champion Panthers meet in Game 1 of the final. Florida, third straight Cup final appearance, a +100 underdog to repeat. The Penguins hired former Rangers assistant Dan Muse as their new head coach.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive is here for all of life's needs, with protection for your home, auto, business, and more. From timely repairs to customizable coverages and payment options, we make it easy. See if you can save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Go!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate that.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Yeah.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
John Peterson was here in hour 1.
Hump day.
Hadn't played pro golf in half a decade.
It's hump day.
Got into a U.S. Open qualifier.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Out there whipping pros' asses.
Hump day.
Crushing beers on the course.
It's hump day.
Carrying his own clubs.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Not really.
Hump day.
I mean, he was whipping pros' asses.
It's hump day.
But he had a CPA carrying his clubs.
Mike. What day is it,
and
Mike?
I don't think he was crushing beers during the round.
Hump day.
John is the first alternate for the U.S. Open.
It's hump day.
That's some Francis We Met stuff there, Muse.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You like that movie, Francis We Met?
I do like the greatest game ever played. It's good.
Yeah. Shia LaBeouf.
It's hump day.
Shia LaBeouf, yeah.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
His dad was a jerk.
Hump day.
Not John Peterson's. I don't know his dad. He's probably a really great guy.
It's hump day.
Shia LaBeouf's dad.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Wait, not Shia LaBeouf's dad.
Hump day.
The character who played Francis We Met's dad in the movie The Greatest Game Ever Played.
It's hump day.
He was a jerk.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Stunk that he couldn't keep all that money.
Hump day.
Amateurism.
I know.
It's hump day.
What a farce.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
They gave it to the little fat kid, the caddy.
Hump day.
Gave him all the money.
It's hump day.
What do you think the fat kid did with all the money?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Totally bought snacks. 100%.
You know what? You're a fat people hater.
It's not true.
What's what it is, clearly.
Nope.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Maybe he gave it to his mom to pay their rent and fed his family Muse.
Maybe.
He just assumed he went out and bought snacks.
It's hump day.
That's what I would have done.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hey, Paulie. You hear that?
Yeah.
Muse said he would have gone out and bought snacks.
Hump day.
Why do you think he'd have been buying snacks, Paulie?
Because he got the munchies.
It's hump day.
Sometimes you just walk right into these things.
Maybe I just like snacks.
Maybe
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You just walk right smack dab into that closed door. You're like the bird that flies into the glass door thinking it's it's clearance. And it just flies right into a door. Or like birds that like crash into empty pools. They think it's like a landing zone and they crash into pools.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
No, that's not a pool. It's the blue turf at Boise. They think it's water. You never heard that?
No, I've actually never heard this.
Oh, dude, yes. Yes, dude. So they have like a real, PETA hates the blue turf at Boise because all these birds die every year because these birds fly. They think it's water. They just break their necks crashing into this water. They think it's water, and they crash into the blue turf. What happened to our song?
It was out, so I just faded it out.
The Humpty Bump.
Humpty Bump. We got through the entire thing today.
So good.
I don't think we don't normally do that.
So good. I didn't even get to tell people we had Mike Casazza on last week or last hour.
Last week?
Last hour.
Boy, time flies.
I know. Sometimes it feels like it.
Yes, it does.
So Mike Casazza was here last hour. Did a really good job talking about West Virginia baseball. Whit Weeks was on OTB earlier today. I want to talk about what he had to say here in about 10 minutes from right now. So thank you for being with us. We are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Oh, real quick. I've told you this before, but very quickly. So Goodwood and Unique Physique, same ownership group. Unique Physique, that's the GLP-1 meds, right? Ozempic, semaglutide, tirzepatide, all that stuff. And they're all in the same clinic. Well, they've got now Unique Aesthetics and Wellness, which is now open. I've been telling you, shopwithmatt.com. That's my own personal URL. You can use shopwithmatt.com to get great discounts. They've got the Unique Aesthetics and Wellness Facebook page up, too. If you want to go follow it there, please do. Again, Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. You can follow it there. They get great deals. Full-service aesthetics, so if you want Botox or fillers, laser hair removal, laser skin therapy, all the aesthetic, body contouring, all of it, they do it there as well. So you can do everything all under one roof in that building on Drusilla in Baton Rouge. It's Goodwood, Unique Physique, and Unique Aesthetics and Wellness, all in one spot right there on Drusilla. Tell them I sent you in. It is so premature to be talking about the 2026 NFL draft. It's a way too early NFL draft time. But there was a mock draft. And I don't even know, why didn't Ryan Wilson at CBS Sports put out a mock draft? I have no idea why he put out this summer mock draft, but he did. He put out a summer mock draft, and he has going as the number one pick in his summer mock draft, Garrett Nussmeier, going number one overall to the New Orleans Saints. It writes, it's not hard to see that Nussmeier is a coach's son. He plays like a grizzled NFL veteran. When he's on, it's pretty easy to see LSU Joe Burrow. How about that? The issues arise when Nussbush tries to do too much, and that was something of a theme as the 24 season progressed, and LSU Joe Burrow turned into New England Mac Jones. How about that? If Nussmeier can limit the poor decisions and untimely turnovers, he'll have a great chance to be the number one overall pick. So there's two things there of note. Obviously, one is that he's got Garrett Nussmeier going number one overall. Two is that he has him going number one overall to the New Orleans Saints, which means he's projecting the New Orleans Saints to have the worst record in the NFL and picked first overall. That is not a trade. They do mock certain trades in this draft, and that is not one of them. So they are projecting the New Orleans Saints, CBS Sports is here, to be the worst team in the NFL, which, remember, ESPN's FPI came out last week, and the New Orleans Saints are 32nd in the NFL in FPI. The thing that keeps popping into my mind, and Muse, we're going to have to go dig this up. I got to find Terrio's original dumpster fire for Nussmeier stuff. Now, I think that was when we did the Riot podcast. I don't even think that was the Riot radio hours on AFR. So Terrio and I used to do a podcast called the Riot Podcast. And we actually won 2 years in a row from LAB Best Podcasts. Like we basically just took the Riot radio hour and did it like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday afternoon and did it live and did an hour-long podcast. It was a lot of fun. But that's when Garrett was a freshman, when Terrio started the dumpster fire for Nussmeier thing. And it was sort of as a joke on the heels of me yelling fail for Cardale whenever Cardale Jones, I wanted the Saints to draft Cardale Jones. Now that went belly up, strikes and gutters. But I still wonder if Cardale Jones hadn't gone back to school after winning the national championship in 2014, if he had gone into that draft and been a first rounder, how things might have been different. But anyway, he went back to Ohio State, ended up losing his starting job and whatever. I want to find the original dumpster fire for Nussmeier bit that we did, because I want to listen to it and unearth it, because I have a feeling that if this season goes like I think it's going to go for Garrett Nussmeier, I have a feeling that, and if the season goes how I think it's going to go for the New Orleans Saints, this is going to be a very real possibility that the Saints will be picking somewhere in the top 5 of the draft. There's a very real possibility they will be drafting a quarterback, and Garrett Nussmeier very well could be that player that everyone's coveting, especially if Arch Manning does not come out. Now, that's not the only interesting part of this mock draft, by the way. There were not one but 2 LSU receivers mocked in this first round as well. At number 26 overall, Aaron Anderson to the Washington Commanders. At number 26 overall, which obviously would unite Aaron Anderson with Jaden Daniels, if that were to happen. And then 4 picks later, at number 31 overall, they have Nick Anderson going to the Baltimore Ravens. Of course, the Oklahoma transfer Nick Anderson. So Nussmeier 1, Aaron Anderson 26, and Nick Anderson 5 picks later at 31. Just something worth filing away. If you're curious as well, they've got the Jets taking Lenora Sellers with the last pick of round 1 with a mock trade with the Philadelphia Eagles. So not picking the Jets to win the Super Bowl, basically picking the Eagles to go back-to-back, trading that pick to the Jets, and that's where Lenora Sellers would go. They also had Cade Klubnik going in round 1, a few picks ahead at 27, which would naturally be a replacement for Matthew Stafford there in L.A. with the Rams. Okay, just interesting. Again, nothing to put stock into at this point, but just something to file away. And I do want to find we got to find the original dumpster fire for Nussmeier segment. The challenge is on. Did you Google it or did you YouTube it?
No, sorry. I
thought you were searching for it.
I was using AI for our podcast. But,
okay.
Yeah. We'll get on that. We will do that. I'll do that after I finish this.
I'm looking at dumpster fire for Nussmeier right now on YouTube. All right, nothing immediately comes up. What about dumpster fire for Nussmeier? Terrio. That might do it. No. No. All right, we're going to have to find it. We're going to have to go deep into the archives and find dumpster fire for Nussmeier, because it exists, and I got to find it. All right, it's after further review. Whit Weeks was a guest on Off the Bench on Wednesday. One thing in particular he said that is making its resonating waves across the interwebs today. We'll get to that next on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Tell you every day you've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. Also, I want to remind you, Gordon is an investor in Court to Table, the pickleball / restaurant concept on Burbank in Baton Rouge that is opening soon. And if you're following on social, they have a hiring event going on, and today's the last day. Well, actually, it ended at 5 o'clock, so never mind. My bad. But maybe if they haven't hired everybody yet, you could still check it out, court2table.com, court2table.com. Gordon, Ozzie Fernandez, our of course, Ozzie's a great restaurateur, so the food will be great. You know that. And they'll have pickleball and great concepts and cool things in Baton Rouge. Check it out. Court to Table coming soon. And also get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Louisville Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luva, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Brad Neffendorf will be here with us in about a dozen minutes from right now. Head coach of the LSU Shreveport Pilots, undefeated NAIA champs. Excited about that convo. They'll get rings. Maybe they'll go to Lee Michaels. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. At Transition. Love that radio guy. LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Father's Day's right around the bend. Gents, maybe drop a few hints. Leave the website there. Great gifts. You can go to the website, LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. They got a tab right there on the homepage for Father's Day. You can check it out. And, of course, gents, if you're thinking of popping the question, remember, no better place to go to get engaged than when Baton Rouge and all of Louisiana has gone to get engaged for 40 years. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, 9 locations in all, and online at lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. All right, Whit Weeks was a guest on Off the Bench with Hester and Matt Flynn on Wednesday morning, and maybe most importantly is an update on his health. And play number 2, please, Muse. Here was the latest.
I mean, me personally, coming off of injury, we just got cleared last week. So my first workout back with the team was this past Monday. We have our first team run today and a little player ran practice this afternoon. So I'm looking forward to that.
Great news there from Whit Weeks. He also gave an update on the leg.
It's good. we're getting there. I would say I'm about 95% right now. Like I'm cleared for all football activity. I've been doing everything, but I just got to get that last little step back.
That's awesome. So 95%, that's from the horse's mouth. Whit Weeks said he's been cleared for football activity. It's just that last little bit. And thank goodness that wasn't worse than what it was. We all saw the injury in the bowl game, and, you know, the way that the foot was turned, you fear the worst, but all accounts, it was a clean break and was able to get back from it. Whit was out there during spring, and it was good to see him out there, but being on the field is going to be paramount. And, you know, we looked at LSU all spring, and I think it's so important to remember context of not only what was there, but what wasn't there in spring. And I'm guilty of this, and I think we all are, because it's always interesting to see the shiny new toy. And you go out there, just like every year in fall camp, the first time we go out there, and if you've listened or watched, you've heard me say this over the years, I always go out there that first practice in fall camp, and I'm looking for the freshmen. And it's because it's these guys that you hear about for a year, 2 years, throughout their recruitment. There's so much conversation that builds around them, and then it's the first time you get to see them in the purple and gold, up against a college roster, and what does it look like? And sometimes you can just tell when dudes are different. I've gone through that for years. Like, Patrick Peterson, the first day, was just different. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Like, there was a kid from West Monroe named Shamari Clemens. I don't know if that name resonates for anybody, but the first day looking at Shamari Clemens wearing 17, I was like, who is that predator out there? It's incredible. Now, his career never really manifested at LSU, but sometimes you just go out there and you look and it's like, oh my, Tradez Green is that guy. And it's very clearly translated. But sometimes in so doing, we forget what's out there. Like Garrett Nussmeier, who's the leading returning passer in all of college football. I didn't spend a lot of time watching Nuss this year in spring because that wasn't interesting. What was interesting is, all right, let me see Braylon Moore. Is he going to be the starting center? How those new tackles looking? Like, that's what's more interesting, is the unknown, is the new thing. And so, too, was it, I think, with spring football on the defensive side. Because, man, while they have struggled, and 2 years ago in 2023, we all know this, LSU was 81st in the country. 81st in the country in scoring defense. Last year, they went from 81 to 59 in scoring. They went from 108 in total defense to last year they were 61st in the country in total defense. So they made a dramatic improvement from 23 to 24, but it was still right smack dab in the middle of the country. I mean, you were just average defensively. You went from bad, like bottom feeder, to average. Now, how do you go from average to good? But we forget, like, what, in looking what the new shiny toys are, what's been there. Like, I spent a lot of time looking at DJ Pickett, who looks like a pterodactyl. Looking at Mansour Delane, that was one of my biggest takeaways, was Mansour Delane. Because it's very clear, you go watch the DB receiver drills and go, okay, which one's the best guy? If you're not pointing at number 4, then we're not watching the same thing. Because Mansour Delane is the best cornerback on this team today, or at least was in spring. We can go look at Patrick Payton and Jack Pyburn, the way they fill the uniform. And a guy like Sadir Mitchell at 360 pounds is just a gigantic space eater. And that's going to garner all the conversation. But you forget about, and Whit Weeks wasn't there, Harold Perkins wasn't there, Jacobian Guillory wasn't there. Like, that's 3 starters that weren't there in spring to reinforce what we saw. And Whit Weeks didn't participate in spring, but he had a front row seat for the whole thing, and this was his takeaway.
I'm more excited for this football season than I've ever been. I mean, I think our defense is going to be special this year. I mean, the dudes that we brought in on the transfer portal, they're all dogs. And, you know, getting to step back and watch from the sidelines this spring, I think that our defense this spring was better than we were last season, and you're missing me and Harold out there. So it's a promising sight to see.
I mean, Harold Perkins is going to be your starter at the star position, which finally, again, as it's worth reaffirming this conversation, we're going to see Harold Perkins in his natural spot. like in his natural habitat, out in space where he belongs. Like, this year's Harold Perkins is going to resemble more closely freshman Harold Perkins than the last 2 years because he's finally going to be playing where he belongs. And remember, Whit Weeks, last year as a sophomore, had more tackles in his sophomore year than Devin White did in 2018 when he won the Butkus. That is a mouthful to say, but that goes to show you and put some perspective on just how impactful that dude is. He might be the best linebacker in college football in 2025. So you're talking about all you added in the portal without talking about the best linebacker arguably in college football, Harold Perkins in his natural habitat, Jacobian Guillory, a 6-year player who was your best interior lineman last year before he got hurt, and all that you've added with the 3 defensive end transfers, and Mansour Delane, and Tamarcus Cooley, and A.J. Hall. So you led the country in interceptions last year, was all Big 12. Yeah, man, like when I talk about people sleeping on this LSU team, I think they just lack the context that all of us have. And you should be excited about it. There is a giant question. It's the one spot on your defensive staff where you had turnover, and that's Bo Davis going out and Kyle Williams coming in. And Whit Weeks sort of reinforced what we've heard a lot of the coaches say about Kyle Williams.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple conversations with him too. I think he's a great fit for us, and I know all the D linemen respect him and respect his football career. And I think he's a perfect defensive line coach for us.
I think that is going to be interesting to see because Bo Davis, if there is a question, that's it. Because Bo Davis, even after losing Jacoby and Guillory and having to move Shand inside and Paez to a zero technique and having to ask Ahmad Bro to play a lot as a freshman, Bo Davis maximized that group. And now you are changing stylistically and fundamentally what you want. You don't want big space eaters. Remember, that's another thing to keep in mind with Weeks. Under Bo Davis, those defensive tackles were trying to eat up blocks to free up Weeks to go make plays. It's going to be a little different with what Kyle Williams wants. He wants fast, aggressive dudes getting upfield, making plays from their defensive tackle spot. So how that all works together in synergy will be interesting to watch. But and the best news today, Whit Weeks saying he's been cleared for all football activity. He's at 95%. He's got to get that last little step back. That's what June's for. June is a time of year where there's no coaching on the field with the coaches, and these dudes are with the strength staff all June long to get physically ready for fall camp. June's getting ready for fall camp. Fall camp's getting you ready for the season. And we're just about there. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here on this Hump Day edition of AFR. I always love telling you about Parrish Construction and Roofing. That's me, that's Terry, that's Richard Tilley, that's Joe Morales, it's Trent Davis, our whole squad over there. And we service all of Louisiana. So no matter where you are, if you need a roof repair, replacement, we'd love to help you out, commercial or residential. It's Parrish Construction and Roofing. Go to parrishbuilt.com. That's parrishbuilt.com. I want to remind you also that if you're worried about maybe a roof replacement because of your ability to pay, we do have financing options. We can finance the entire roof if it's a cash buy, or if you are going through insurance and the insurance company is covering the cost of your roof and you have to pay your deductible, we can finance the cost of your deductible as well. We have options, so don't let that stop you. Your home is the greatest asset you'll ever own. Your roof is on top of your home. It is essential. We'd all love to redo the cabinets in our kitchen. That's not as important as having a fully functioning roof that protects your home. Let us help. Parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com. Okay, it is After Further Review. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com. Quick break. When we come back, we're heading up to Shreveport. Brad Neffendorf led the LSUS Pilots to a 59-0 national championship season. Coach will be with us next here on AFR.
AFR.
Action, INDINC.com. Action Industries Incorporated. Action, INDINC.com, Action Industries Incorporated. Action Industries, where, of course, they boast the Advanced Turnaround Group. Through about October, we'll be talking about turnaround season. And so I'll continue to hammer this message home. With Action and the Advanced Turnaround Group, there's two things that are most important to talk about. Number one is safety. As you and I know, and I'm talking to those of you who work in that world, the industrial world. You work in the plants, the refineries. You don't get hired inside the fence if you don't have an exemplary safety record. And Action Industries, their safety record beats the industry standard. And you don't keep getting rehired if you don't do great work. Well, they've been rehired for 43 years. It's Action Industries. And the Advanced Turnaround Group at Action Industries.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
1 out remaining for a national title. Bounder over to the left side, right side. Easy play, and Vantro Reed, who else puts a finishing touch on this one as perfection wears purple in Lewiston, Idaho.
59-0. It almost doesn't even sound real to say it. LSU Shreveport, the Pilots, the NAIA national champions, a perfect 59-0. Their coach, Brad Neffendorf, got to still be riding that high, is good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Coach, it's a pleasure. How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate you guys having me on.
I'm sure you are. If I take you back to when this season started and you're pushing off from the dock and I told you perfection, what would have been your thought?
I'd have laughed at you.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
Even I say it all the time, Coach, even the 27 Yankees lost 40 games. What point during this season did you think, okay, this is actually possible?
I mean, it's a good question. Look, I knew we had a chance to be really good, but I don't think we really thought. I mean, there's times when it's early on, and hey, we've won 20 straight, and you're kind of like, all right, yeah, you're doing all right. And we got to 38. You know, we won that one, and that was the longest winning streak or whatnot at the NAI level. You know, as it kept going, we really just honestly kind of quit even thinking about it as a coaching staff. Now, I'll tell you why it was possible, though, is the players, they blocked all that out. They did a great job managing distractions this year, managing any outside noise or whatnot. And, you know, all credit goes to them for staying so incredibly focused on the things that they wanted to accomplish and how they did it together. And they honestly never talked about it. And I think that's a big reason why, you know, not only do we win a national title, but the fashion in which they did it.
You know, the other thing too, Coach, I'm, you know, in preparing for you to come on, I was looking at the roster, and admittedly, like I don't know a ton about NAIA ball, but it also looks like your roster is built with guys that are from other colleges, transfers, and it's not guys that you might grab from the high school ranks and bring them in to then set them up to maybe transfer somewhere else. How do you build this roster?
Well, I think it's just years of experience on, you know, obviously you have your ways in which you want to do things, you know, on both sides of the ball. You obviously have a standard and expectation. You know, we've always said we don't have to have the best players. We got to form the best team. We might have had both this year, to be honest with you, but
yeah.
It's just years of networking and connections. And, you know, prior to, you know, the other two NAIs that I was at, and I was fortunate enough to win another national title at Tennessee Westland as an assistant in 2019. You know, to survive at this level, you've obviously got to be more experienced. You got to be bigger. You got to be stronger. You got to be athletic. And, you know, you can filter some high school kids in, but they're going to be around older guys. So, I mean, we just get out and, you know, we'll watch in the fall. We'll stay out in the spring. We're on the phone. We're on the text. We're on the email. And it's just the way I can put it to you is you're putting together a JUCO / 4-year all-star team that fits who you are. And, you know, there's a lot of different ways in which that comes about that you get these kids here.
It's amazing to hear the description. I've had a lot of your or former players there at LSUS who heard you were coming on to the show and effectively saying what a job that you've done reaching out to the alums and the former players to incorporate them. For you, why is not every coach does. Why was that so important for you?
Because it's not about me. It's not about us. What we did this year, this group, is 35 years in the making. We were able to do what we did this year because of those alumni. I'm one that is, you know, I'm not arrogant. I got no ego in this. It's not about me. I love where I'm at. I love what I do, and I do it with an understanding that there's so many years. I mean, at one point, you're looking halfway of being here, there was guys that had still put on the uniform for a lot more games than I ever had, even when that first couple times that we went to the World Series here. There's guys still around. They come out. And, you know, when you have pride in the program and you had some of the teams that they've had here for years and years and years that were so historic, so successful, from the coaching staffs to the players to the teams, you know, when you see guys that want to win so much and that when we did one, you see how much it meant to them. That's why this program is what it is, because it is built off years and years of a foundation that was laid so many years, 35 years ago, and they're all still invested in it. They don't care what team wins it. They just want to win one. And we all understand that they're a huge part of it. And just for the 10 alumni that even came to the celebration the other day, several of them drove in. I mean, they were emotional, and I was emotional because of it. And it's a program national title, and I mean a 35-year program national title. I'm not even on this phone right now talking to you, or have we done anything we've done if it wasn't for those guys?
Well said. Brad Neffendorf is our guest, LSU Shreveport head coach, 59-0 national champs. You know, for the rest of your life, you're going to do interviews like this and get asked a lot of the same questions about this team because of the context. But, like, you played 4 one-run games. Was there a game, or what was the game that you thought maybe you came closest to dropping one?
Honestly, the first one was against my brother's team. He's a head coach at Indiana University Southeast, and they're a group that returned a lot of experienced players from a team that, in his first year as a head coach last year, they went to the NAIA World Series. And what's kind of crazy, and I know I'm getting off topic, we talked about this today. My brother actually, you look what we did this year. They got to the NAIA World Series last year, and I don't know if you remember, it was all over national news. They were down 11-0 or 12-0 with 2 outs and nobody on the bottom of the ninth, and scored 12 or whatever it is to win that game, and then they get to the regional. But that's crazy. Well, anyways, they scored 3 off us with 2 outs, and they were up by 2 early in the year. And I think they got the first guy out, and then we scored a few to come back and walk that one off. Probably the one that really was Tabor College in the tournament that we ran this year. We were down 6-2, and I'm telling you, it's one of the ugliest games I've seen us play in years. And then something just kind of flipped, and we came back and made it 6-5 going into the last inning. And then we scored a couple to walk them off without anybody out. I mean, probably one of those 2 games right there.
Yeah, it's just. It's baseball, man. Everybody loses in baseball. Like LSU got run ruled by Northwestern State this year. It's baseball. Everybody loses.
It's crazy.
59-0 it just doesn't. Have you thought of any context yet of this? I mean, I know it's still so new and fresh, but like, have you allowed yourself or looked up any context of what you all have accomplished?
I mean this in the right way. We haven't really got a chance to yet.
Yeah, I believe you.
We've had a couple days of, working on getting some guys some contracts at the next level. We've been fortunate enough to have a couple signed yesterday at the, Frontier League Independent. We're getting guys out. We're trying to figure out, obviously with everybody coming back, who's for sure coming back, which they all are, and just we got a very big recruiting class that we've got to bring in, and we've been getting on that. So I think probably when this week is complete, and as hard as it is to say goodbye to the guys and we're kind of winding down, I'll probably get a chance to think about it a little bit and really emotionally dive into it. And, with what you just asked, get into that piece of it. But, I mean, it's hard to. I mean, when you're sitting in our shoes, and I mean this, in all, however I want to say this, when you're 59-0 and you're the team that's it's harder to comprehend.
Yeah.
I think when you're on the outside, I look at Southeastern in 22. We lost them in the World Series. They were 53-4, I think they finished, and at one point winning the World Series with 2 losses, and we were all looking at them. This is one of the best teams we've ever seen. 2 losses, my gosh, they're unbelievable. And I still feel that about like one of the best years I've ever seen. They ended the year like 54-4. So I think when you're on the outside, it's a lot easier to look at it. I just hope our guys get the chance to really now settle down and they're starting to really think about what an unbelievable deal they've accomplished.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking it up. I don't know. I'm sure plenty of people have tried to look this up, but the closest thing I saw there was a piece from the Associated Press is that this is the first college baseball team at any level on record to go undefeated. I mean, that's
yeah. No, it's
ever. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah, no, it is, and I mean, like you said, I mean, you look at the last game. I mean, through 4 innings, I'm sitting there going, "You got to be kidding me." We're in the national title game. Yes, we've got to be beat twice. This is the first game where I can truly say, even though we've had a couple close ones this year, that we've had to come back. Nothing's going our way, and I'll tell you a story. Like, I don't know if not many people know this. In the first inning, we gave up 2 runs with 2 strikes and 2 outs. There was a ball that put in play with the runners on second and third. When it was at the peak in the air, we had the 2 umpires on the right side called time because they saw a ball that came over the wall in left center field 300 feet away. Well, guess who hit that ball with his buddy on the back? That was my son that hit that ball playing wiffle ball. Yeah, no, and it was just one of those deals because we cancel out the out. They put the ball back in play, and the very next pitch they get a hit, and now it's 2-0. And then other things started to work itself out on their way. We had some loud outs. They had some balls that came in play that, are they're so softly hit and you don't even want to call them hits, but everything's going their way. And I'm going, you got to be kidding me. Like, we're literally in this game and this is the game where everything's going to go against us, but we still seem to be able to work through it. And it all goes to the fact I've said all year long, we have such a poised, loose group that nothing ever really affected them. So I finally convinced, like, what am I worried about? Like, these guys aren't worried. And then things started going our way. But no, in baseball, it's absolutely it's remarkable. It's hard to comprehend, and I'm just so proud of these guys what they were able to do, because it's something that we may never see anything even close to it again.
What'd you tell your son after the game?
Well, I actually didn't get a chance. He's turning 8 in 2 weeks, and he's starting to really understand things. Well, he's really close with my assistant, and my assistant told him after the game, "Hey, you know what?" Well, he almost started crying. Yeah, and it was fine. He ended up coming back in, but he's got to that level. He's so emotionally attached to it. Loves our guys. He's invested in baseball now, and he's starting to understand it. That, I mean, if you go back and watch the video from the third base side of us celebrating, there's my kid and our AD's kid out on the field throwing haymakers and fist pumps and going nuts. And, you know, it wouldn't have been his fault even if it did affect us. But, you know, I just thought it was, you know, look at the first half of that game, and he started some of the stuff that went on. I actually kind of thought it was funny.
That's awesome, man. Before you go, I know there's a White House visit coming, which is awesome. Any idea on the details yet?
A little bit more today. We actually have 4 different things going on. That's one of them. Then we're going to State Capitol, going somewhere else down in Baton Rouge. There are a few different things, but the White House one came back up again today. We thought it was going to be more towards the end of July. Now it sounds like it's going to be a little bit sooner, maybe in the next few weeks or so. Went through a little bit of the process on not concrete info, but maybe on how we're getting there, you know, kind of the timeline next few weeks, the size of the party, how they're going to go about that. So I got a little bit more today. So, I mean, it sounds like it could be coming here pretty soon.
Very cool, man. Our congratulations. Thank you. Listen, I'm sure you're getting pulled a lot of directions. I appreciate you for taking the time to do this. And what a great moment for your program and for your guys. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you very much, and I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. That's Brad Neffendorf, the head coach of the LSU Shreveport Pilots, NAIA national champs, the first. Like, let that resonate for a second. The first college baseball team on record ever to have an undefeated season. Like, I guess I have to say from now on, when I say everybody loses baseball games, except LSU Shreveport in 2025. I mean, they're the one. They're the one exception. Amazing. You want to go celebrate? Maybe bring the guys down to Supper Club. I was there last night. Had an awesome dinner. Actually, I had the Omi beef fillet last night. That's the one I tell you about all the time. It's the favorite cut of the Emperor of Japan. It's what they used to feed to the samurai because they thought it had special powers. I've had it twice now. It's almost, the texture is almost like a marshmallow. It's so amazing. It is so amazing. I cannot even begin to describe it. It's just, you take your blade and you press like you would normally cut into a steak, and you don't need it. You could probably just use your fork. It's that delicious and tender and flavorful. And try it. If you love steak, you owe it to yourself to try the Omi beef. Go to Supper Club. If it's a special occasion, it's a special occasion. But I'll tell you this, the day that you try the Omi beef filet, that is the special occasion. Like, that is the day that you'll talk about, regardless of the reason you're at Supper Club. But the only place you can get it is at Supper Club, right there on Perkins Road near Bluebonnet. SupperClubBTR.com for your reservations. SupperClubBTR.com. Supper Club. Father's Day's coming up. Ladies, treat Dad to dinner at Supper Club. Trust me. Trust me. He will love it. Okay, it's after further review. Final break of the show. Jimmy is not going to join us, although I do have his picks. So we'll give you Otterlocks next.
AFR.
Every single day I get to tell you about Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. And I was over there 2 days ago, and Mimi at the front was laughing. Says, "Man, I heard you talking, saying about the logo and the name, the funny name." Yes, and it's true, and I get it. It's great marketing. It's memorable. But it's so much more than just the funny name and the logo and ED treatments. They do ED. Yes, they do. But so much of what they do at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness is helping you regain your vitality. Hormone replacement therapy is something that I am bullish on. I've talked about for nearly a decade now. Men, women, get your hormone levels checked. Men, heart health, prostate health, mental clarity, clear brain fog, energy levels, libido, all of that. All of that is directly related to your testosterone levels. Get your levels checked. See if you're a candidate. Never any contracts, lowest prices, convenient. Feel your best. YourGoodwood.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on this Hump Day edition of AFR. We always appreciate Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Normally, this is the time of the show where we welcome aboard Jimmy for Otterlocks. Jimmy is not available to call in, so I'll give you his picks, and I think we'll have time for what we learned. I stopped putting it on the rundown because we just never did.
I've got one.
Mostly because Jimmy just rolls right through that's why I had to give him the 1 minute warning.
1 minute remaining.
Well, not yet.
Not yet,
Let's
but
not
yeah.
fool the audience.
I was just letting people know.
We had to do that basically so Jimmy knew, hey, we need to wrap
it
this
up. Yep.
All right, 3 MLB plays. Remember, you can always get Otterlocks at LouisianaSports.net. Everything at LouisianaSports.net is free. We've got 3 MLB plays. Oh, Otter did text us. We do have an NHL play also. So the 3 MLB plays, here you are. 3 money line plays. He's got the Kansas City Royals plus $1.10. The San Diego Padres minus $1.15. And the Atlanta Braves. There you go, Paulie. Otter just put the jinx on your Bravos tonight. Minus 128. Royals, Padres, Braves are your 3 plays tonight in the MLB. And then Jimmy also said Randy McKay added the Oilers in the Stanley Cup Finals tonight. So I do not. Let me see if I can find that line real quick on the Oilers. Load. It is $1.20. Edmonton is minus $1.20 tonight in the Stanley Cup Finals. All right, it is after further review. We'll get to what we learned. We're brought to you by the Williams & I Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williams & I Center. The thing I always encourage you to do, just schedule that consultation. The consultation is not a sales pitch. This is not high pressure. This is literally just a conversation for them to gather some information about you and to let you know what your options are. At which point then you could decide if you want to proceed, meet Dr. Blake and go through the whole process. Just start with that consultation. If you've ever dreamed about getting rid of those contacts and glasses forever, the Williamson Eye Center can make it happen. 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. I thought we'd have the 1-minute warning.
Well, you were doing a live read. I didn't want to interrupt your live read.
No doubt. Muse, what did you learn today?
I learned that Brad Neffendorf's son almost cost him a perfect season.
Bro, how about that?
That's what he said.
We got to clip that and put it out there.
That was insane.
He's 8. I feel bad for him, though.
Yeah.
Paulie, what did you learn today?
I learned John Peterson was playing golf, so his kids don't have to watch him on YouTube.
How about John Peterson?
What'd you learn, Matt?
Chris Stanfield on the Community Work Tony Gwynn Award finalists. Tony Gwynn Award finalists. See you tomorrow.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. And my brother and his family took off for the beach today. Some of you might be doing the same thing. You got that beach trip planned. Maybe you're driving to Disney because some of you think it's a good idea to drive 10 hours to Orlando, but you do you. If you're getting in the car, you're going on that summer trip, make sure your car's in tip-top shape, ready to go to protect you and your family and get you where you got to go. Shawbills can do all of it. Need new tires? Name brand tires at wholesale prices. That's what they do. It's part of the Charlie's Dozen. Buy tires at Shawbills. See those tires advertised cheaper somewhere else. They'll refund you 125% of the difference. How about that? Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. Tire rotation, oil change, check engine light on. Need new windshield wipers? They can take care of all of that for you at Shawbills. So log on to ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come